Hello everyone. Let me know if you can see me because today being the first day, there are certain technical glitches as you know, but from tomorrow onwards it will be sorted out. Just let me know if my audio video is clear. I was also rushing from half an hour to make it happen. Apologies if anybody is still waiting and left the session. We will continue the session, no question about it. Be it 12, be it 1 o'clock, we will be completing the entire PGBP. But just let me know if you are able to see the screen properly, everything is visible. These things I want to be very clear. It's visible, right? No audio issues. I was struggling from last half an hour to make this happen. Like technically, there are some or other issues coming. So, yes, sir, Amruta. Just hold on. We will be starting very soon. Everything is okay. I got 1 thumbs up. Just see the screen, how it is appearing. Screen, I am also checking along with you. If I can make this look little this much. I think that's fine, but background you are seeing that comment which is not necessary, so I will be removing that also. Every day, the first day will be, every time that will be an issue, guys, because and whoever thinks that the classes this time we will be taking the classes in English. But if anybody specifically asks that someone wants Telugu explanation in between somewhere, I will be giving. But if anybody is watching from larger audience, like who wants the class to be in English, this will be in English. Stick around. So this will be in English. Not clear as much, sir. So it is not clear. Just 2-3 minutes I will be setting everything, and then once we start we will not be stopping anywhere. Okay, so please share with your friends, whoever wants the sessions to be in English, like in your larger community. And one more thing, that it's not just one chapter, guys. It's not that we'll take only one chapter and we'll leave everything. We will be coming live on a daily basis and we'll be completing the entire ICAI study material, all the chapters. Okay, so there is nothing like you have to purchase something. Everything will be doing here only, but the least that I expect from you is that a support from your end. Like please share it with your friends, let them also come live, let them ask questions, as many questions as they would get. It's nothing like you only watch whatever is there on the recorded session. It is more about you have any question you ask, I'll do my best to answer you. So this is my request, guys, humble request, since we are getting very less people joining live and watching our videos. This is somewhere demotivates or that doesn't help my motivation also. I request you people to kind of please share with your friends and watch it live, ask questions, ask as many questions as you get, and sometimes we feel embarrassed to ask in front of others, but since we are kind of directly doing it live, you can ask any questions. Okay, just 2 minutes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. We are starting in couple of minutes. The only reason why I'm waiting is I am checking everything else is in order. Once this is in order, we will be so someone is saying it is not as clear. So request, tell me what is not clear so that I can change it for some time. As I said, sharp 9:30 will be starting the session, and after that there won't be any delays, guys. I won't be talking anything other than subject. Okay, now this looks fine. So this looks fine. It's clear, people are saying, but the only reason why I'm so rigid is that because the session will be there for next 1 year, because this session will be useful for your May attempt as well as November attempts. Okay, if anything goes wrong again somewhere, small letters, huh? Okay. Small letters बोले तो I need to check how I can correct this one. Small letters. See, technically we are also not very good, guys. We are just managing as much as we know it. Okay. Hope. Dim, cloudy, it's probably because the internet is not very good from your end. I'm just suspecting, I'm not sure, I cannot make a blind comment, but as it looks, see, can anybody else confirm that how it is looking? Just a couple of minutes, I am starting, don't go away. The reason is that later we cannot make these changes, so I want it to be as clear as possible. Okay, so today we are starting PGP, guys. The main motive is that initially we'll be starting with direct tax. We'll try to complete everything, complete CA as well as CMA inter, and once that is done, what else we'll do is there are certain new topics which are there only for CMA inter students, and there are so again, for CMA, there are certain topics which are exclusively for CMA, which I will be taking. At the same time, I have been getting a lot of queries relating to CA final DT also. So my plan is that the moment I complete my CA and as well as CMA inter DT, like PGBP, capital gain, TDS, TCS, advanced tax, I'll just be writing it somewhere so that you also be aware that what all you will be getting to see from our channel, like coming on this channel. This is a timeline, like if anybody is curious to know. So today the session will be very long, guys. The reason is that I'm not skipping even one point, whatever is there in your book. Everything will be covering. Along with that, we'll do the calculations also. So that is the reason why it takes more time than what you would think. Okay, it is not just explaining few topics, few provisions and moving forward. It is more like completing the entire chapter. So my target for this revision sessions will be, first we'll be going with the PGBP, and second day we'll be going with the capital gain, and third we'll be doing TDS, or this we can do little later. Chapter 6A deductions, and then TDS, TCS, advance tax, and salary bit later, because last time we have posted the video and it is still there on the YouTube, and most other topics are kind of same, so there is kind of no point in discussing the same points which are already there. So I would say that you can watch it, that if time permits again we'll do one more time with more questions, more illustrations, and then clubbing, set off, and carry forward. So this 6 sessions we will be doing it at a overall level. So this will be useful for CA inter as well as CMA final, as well as CMA inter and CMA final as well. It's not that we are skipping anything, everything will go, we will be going in detail. So once this is done, I'll be making few videos like transfer pricing, non-resident taxation, or assessment procedures. Like there are few chapters that I'll be doing it for final. And once that is also done, we'll come back and we'll do more problems, because problems, final assessment problems or any problem, we have to do it once we complete the entire spectrum of things. Okay, so that will be my my agenda for the next 6 days. So in 6 days or 7 days we'll be completing these many chapters. So everybody make sure that you don't commit anything for the evenings. You just make sure that okay, for next 7 days or next 15 days, because after this we'll be taking another chapter subject also. Once this is done, like we will be doing it like every day. We'll be meeting at 9 o'clock, and at a stretch 3 to 3.5 hours we'll be completing a lot of portions. So don't think that I will be watching the subsequent day when it is already available on YouTube. That will not give you the josh. The josh will be like when you are watching it on live only. Okay, so costing also we will do it, guys, but the thing is that first these amendments, wherever the provisions are there, like DT and law, especially GST. So let us complete these things. I would be requiring a lot of your support. Yes, without wasting any time, let's start. So as we all know that we have 5 hits, like salary, house property, which we will be doing a bit later, and then we are starting directly with the PGBP. So PGBP method of accounting, first we will be directly going with this. Generally whatever the method of accounting the company regularly follows, that will be done, but there are certain exceptions. It is very rare that the examiner will be asking this question, but in case if they want to ask, they might ask you in a bits like MCQs questions. They might squeeze like, is there any exceptions to the rule that only accounting method followed by the entity will only be the basis for taxation. Okay, Section 145(1) requires income chargeable under the head PGBP and other sources to be computed in accordance with either cash or mercantile system, whichever is regularly employed by the assessee. So generally for PGBP and income from other source, whatever the method that your an entity follows, that should be the basis for you to do it. Okay, so we will not be interfering. Again, there are few exceptions. This can be a question. Okay, so in bits kind of a question, there can be one question. Interest received by an assessee on compensation or enhanced compensation shall be deemed to be the income of the year in which it is received. So whenever we do this capital gain chapter, like we have a definition of what you mean by transfer. So transfer includes sale, extinguishment, exchange, everything will include. It will also include one more element. When the government compulsorily acquires your property, that will also be amount to transfer. But because the land is acquired by government, it is compulsorily acquired by them, they will not be paying the money in on time. So everybody knows this fact that the government is not vigilant or not timely in making the payment. So whenever they pay compensation, no, so if there is any delay, on the delay also we'll get interest. If there is enhanced compensation, on that also we'll get interest. Like actually this compensation is fixed by governments only. So government makes delay for their normal compensation only. On top of that interest, definitely they'll make more delay, right? So it will be chargeable in the year in which you are receiving it. Just that in MCQs, out of all the options, you can say that interest on compensation or interest on enhanced compensation will be taxable in the year in which you are receiving. So that is one point. Claim for escalation of price in a contract or export incentive shall be deemed to be the income of the previous year in which reasonably certain or it is realization is achieved. What does this mean? So whenever we get any kind of a subsidy or any of anything, okay, so this is the different thing. This is the third one. Yeah. So escalation in the price contract bole to, I'm a manufacturer. I'm entering into a contract with you. So I'm saying that I will be manufacturing goods at 15 rupees per kg. I'll be manufacturing 1 lakh units. So this is our original contract. But after 2 months, I'm like, so to 15 rupees is a very less because our raw material also got increased because of COVID. There is a shortage of raw material supplies. I cannot supply it at 15 rupees. I want to supply it at 17 rupees. So I'm increasing my price because there is something happened in the market which is beyond my control, and I cannot deliver you goods at 15 rupees. So there is an increase in the price, right? So that is like escalation in the contract price. Originally I agreed it. Let's take an example. I promise you that I will be constructing you a building for 10 lakh rupees, but later because of increase in prices, I'm like, okay, 10 lakhs is a very nominal amount. I will be incurring losses. I want to construct this at 10 lakh 50,000. So that extra 50,000 rupees, whatever I'm changing it, it's only from my end, right? So it's only from my end. It also has to be accepted by the other party. So whenever there is a escalation in the contract, only when it is reasonably certain that you will be receiving the money, until that time you don't recognize any revenue. So that is also in the year in which you receive, you will be considering that. Same logic goes for your assistance in the form of subsidies from the government. So governments, like, they might promise that they will be giving some subsidies for someone who starts one factory in some location. Okay, I'm just taking an example that in one of the districts of Telangana, I'm planning to start one factory. So government is like, okay, we'll be giving 10 lakh rupees once you do this thing. Okay. So I cannot recognize that revenue till it is reasonably certain that the government will be paying the money. Be whatever the government, it can be local government, it can be state government, or it can be central government. Unless you are sure that you will be receiving the money from the government, like government is unpredictable all the time, you don't recognize your revenue or don't recognize that income. So that's what this is saying. So I hope now it is clear that generally whatever the method followed by the entity, be it for PGBP and income from other sources, whatever the method that you follow, that will be the basis for taxation. But these are the 3 exceptions. You can find this in 1 mark question. Method of accounting in certain cases. So there are certain special cases which again is important at a final level. The valuation of inventory shall be made at lower or of actual cost or net realizable value computed in accordance with the ICDS 2 valuation of inventory. So what they are saying is, when you are valuing your inventory, generally you have to do just like your AS2, okay? Like if you are an intermediate student, AS2, or final student in AS2, you will be valuing it at lower of cost or NRV. That is what again we are following it for ICDS also. Income Computation Disclosure Standard 2. But if you are valuing your inventory, you also have to take into account all the directly attributable cost. Example, if I am purchasing a raw material for 100 rupees, that is a raw material per kg cost, but to bring the inventory to its present location, I am incurring 5 rupees as a transportation cost. So 100 plus 5. So any directly attributable expenses relating to inventory should also be added. This is same like your AS2. So whatever you have studied in AS2, that is a replica in ICDS2. Again, if your inventory is securities which are not listed, for a company which is a banking company, like who are generally in trading, like one part of their business, why it would be like they will be buying and selling securities, right? So out of the securities, if they have securities which are not listed or not traded, what you can do is whatever is your cost, that can be your that will be the value of your inventory. See, this can be a question in the examination. If anybody is having any doubt, let me know, because I'm not finding any comments here. Again, you will be going fast only, it's not like a slow session, but we'll be covering everything. Yeah, coming back to it, inventory cost or NRV, whichever is lower, that will be the basis. Any directly attributable cost relating to inventory will be added to the inventory, that is also fine. Third, if you happen to hold securities as your inventory and those securities are not regularly traded or not regularly listed in the stock exchange, what you can do is whatever is your cost price, that will be the value for your inventory. Okay, but in case if it is like a regularly traded and regularly traded in the stock market, you will have again cost or NRV, whichever is lower. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Like I am just giving the foundation, guys. For first 5-10 minutes we'll be going at a certain pace, but once we get into synchronization of each other, we'll be going too fast. I mean, like we'll be covering the entire thing. But if anybody is having any questions, please let me know in the comment section. And one more thing, if you have any questions, you ask. Plus, if it is clear also, just let me know, because I will not be knowing how fast I am going or how slow I am going also. Yeah, so again we have a charging section. I repeat it in every session that I take for a direct access, especially. Unless you know the charging session of a head, you don't start that head. Be it salary 15, you should know when salary is taxable under the head, like income is taxable under the head salary. If it is house property 22, it will tell you when you will take something as your income from house property. Same way PGBP also, it will give you the power, like when CBDT can ask tax on certain income. So that is your charging session. Any compensation or payment due to or received by any person by whatever name called managing the whole or substantially whole of the affairs of the Indian company or affairs in India of any other company, or in connection with the termination or his management once the modifications or any terms and conditions relating thereto. So what does it mean? It means that, see, you are an expert in managing business, example. So you are taking some money to manage a company, like assuming that I am a startup and I want someone to take care of finance, okay, someone to take care of marketing, someone to take care of production. I'm not hiring them on an employment basis. It is not contractor basis. It is not principal and agent relationship. Here the relationship is that my entire business is being managed by someone else. So whatever the money that I pay to them, that will be chargeable under the head PGBP. It is not salary, it is not their professional income, it is just they are managing my own efforts. Be it termination, like if I'm like I took a contract for 5 years, but after 2 years I want to cancel it. Maybe to terminate something, I'm paying something. Be it for any contract, be it any modification, be it any termination, for managing the entire affairs of an entity, that will be coming under PGBP. Okay, so Raj, if anything is not clear, I appreciate your openness. Please let me know which point is not clear. Agency business in India or in connection with the termination of any agency business modifications or any terms and conditions relating thereto. So you know that the agency business, like somebody just take the agency of selling my products. Example, I am manufacturing ACs, air coolers. Okay, so I am the manufacturer. I am having different agents. So what they do is they take the stock from me and they will sell it from their end. Okay, so they are becoming an agent, like they are doing that business, right? So for them, whatever I pay to them, that will be taxable to them under PGBP. Any person by whatever name called at or in connection with the termination or modification of terms and conditions of any contract relating to the business. So what does this mean? I'm having a manufacturing facility. I entered into a contract with someone to supply me certain raw material. Okay, so to manufacture something, obviously I will be requiring some raw material, right? So whenever I am entering into a contract with a vendor who is a supplier of a raw material, but in between what happened is that I'm not liking their quality of the product, so maybe they are not delivering the goods on timely basis, I'm cancelling their contract. Okay, so whatever I pay to them for cancelling their existing contract, for cancelling their contract, that will be chargeable to them as a business income. Again, I'll repeat, there is a vendor, I'm the manufacturer. To supply certain raw materials, we have entered into a contract, but at some point of time I'm not liking their services, I'm not liking their quality, I'm cancelling my contract. When I cancel my contract, I have to pay something, right? So in terms of or in relation to termination of any contract, if I'm paying anything to them, for them it's a capital receipt, just you can say, but that capital receipt is due to a business contract only, right? See, why am I paying them money? Like 1 lakh rupees I'm paying to them. Yes, it's a one-time payment, one-time receipt. It's a capital receipt in general accounting terminologies. But they are receiving that money for a regular operation, like regular business activity, right? So for them also, they will be charging, they will be taking this income as PGBP income. Hope it is clear. Every point I will be covering it, guys. That is the beauty of our sessions. I'm saying it's not like 1 hour entire chapter, it is like 3 hours, but entire thing will complete. No point will be left, and it shouldn't so happen that I'm not aware of this corner of that point. You have any question, just put it out on the chat, on the screen. I'll be happy to help you out. Income from specific services performed for its members by a trade or professional or business. So this is like you have trade agencies or chambers, right? Chambers of film academy or chambers for some manufacturer, some textile chambers, like I don't remember the names, but there are chambers for like people. For film also there is a film chamber. So here also whatever they get, it's not like they are doing it for the purpose of business, but whatever the little revenue that they generate, that will be taxable under PGBP. One time explain in Telugu also, sir. So which point you want me to explain in Telugu? So that's what I'm saying it, right? We slowly get a habit to understand in English, but if in case any point is so tough that you're not able to get it in English, I'm absolutely happy to help you out in other languages also. If someone wants to explain me in Hindi, I'll explain you, but our default language for time being it would be English. But at any point of time you're not understanding any one point, I'll be happy to help you out. Okay, so ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకు ఛాంబర్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫిల్మ్ ఛాంబర్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఛాంబర్స్ ఫర్ టెక్స్టైల్స్ అని, ఛాంబర్స్ అని అకౌంటెంట్, ఛాంబర్స్ ఫర్ లాయర్స్, రకరకాల బార్స్ అని పేర్లు పెట్టుకొని ఉంటారు కదా. సో దే ఆల్ కమ్ టుగెదర్ టు ప్రొటెక్ట్ దర్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద లార్జర్ కమ్యూనిటీ. Chambers for doctors, like that. So whatever they get as a subscription or some money, that will also be taxable under PGBP only. And this is like incentive received or receivable by an assessee carrying on export business. So what does this mean? When you are into exporting something, like whoever is doing the customs act, you might be knowing these few words. When you export, government encourages Indian manufacturers to export. The basic funda is that when you export, you will be receiving the money in dollars, so our foreign reserves will be increased. So government always in a way tries to push you for exporting more, because you will be getting more of a foreign currency. Yeah, coming to the point, whenever you are exporting, government's trying to push you, encourage you, right? So they will be helping you or encouraging you with some incentives. Okay, so something like import entitlement, because you will be given a right to import more. Okay, because you are exporting, there will be certain benefits given to you to import directly, import with a lesser time, with lesser administrative purposes. And cash assistance against export, like if you are exporting something and government is giving you cash assistance, like if you export 1 lakh kgs in a month, I will be giving you this much cash incentive just to encourage you. So that is also a business income. See, just a simple అర్థం చేసుకోవాలంటే it's a part of your business only. Just because you are exporting, government is giving you some benefit, whatever the name they call it, but it is coming to you because of a business purpose, right? So whenever you receive any money from government, be whatever the name that they call it, that is because you are doing some business, so obviously it should come under PGBP only. Customs duty, excise duty, repaid or repayable drawback, duty drawback, something like that. Profit on transfer of duty, entitlement passbook. So there will be like how you, when you go to bank and when you open an account, they will be giving you a passbook, right? Just like that, they will be keeping you track of how much you are exporting. Like they will be giving you some facilities or benefits based upon that. So at some point of time, you don't want to export more, but you want to give that passbook to someone else, just like you're selling your property. So that also you will be taking under PGBP only. Okay. So next, value of any benefit of perquisites. Now I am a manufacturer, I am doing one business, I'm manufacturing a product and I'm selling across India. Okay, because I'm selling more, no, I might get some benefits from various people. Example, because I'm manufacturing more, I'm purchasing more from my vendor. So my vendor, like raw material supplier, so he will be like, Sampath, you have sold so many goods in a quarter or in a year, I'm giving you a benefit. It could be cash consideration, it could be a perquisite. So what do you mean by perquisite? They might give me, because Sampath, you achieved a target of 1 lakh or 1 lakh units in a month, very good, so I'm giving you 1 lakh for every month. That's the cash incentive. Or they might say that, Sampath, you have done very good business in the entire quarter, entire year, I'm giving you a car, I'm giving you a holiday trip, okay, tickets I'm buying, so just go and enjoy yourself. So it could be monetary or it could be non-monetary. Whatever the perquisites I'm receiving because of doing a business, that will also become my PGBP. Example, you are a LIC agent, you sell your LIC policies to your customers, you will be receiving the commission, that's fine. Once you reach a level, no, LIC will be telling you that we will be taking you a foreign trip, we'll be taking you to a resort. Okay, so something like that, the LIC is giving me a benefit, that is, it could be monetary, it could be non-monetary, either way it will be your PGBP income only. Okay, next, any sum due to or received by a partner from a firm. Example, now 4 of our friends wants to start one CA firm. Okay, 4 partners or consulting firm. Okay, forget about CA, consulting firm. So now 4 people will be working, one person will be taking care of one element, maybe accounting, another person will take care of tax, one person will take care of something else like that. Okay, so what are we doing? We are doing a business, right? So we are not employees of that firm, we are just partners of that firm. So when the partners pays me salary, they might call it a salary only, they might say interest, they might say remuneration, they might say anything, whatever the name called, whatever a partner receives from the firm, that will be taxable under PGBP only. Okay, but there is one small understanding I want to give it to you. We will cover this section also. 40B will give you the limits, like up to how much interest you will pay to your partners, like 12% simple interest, and 40B may you have limits, right? First 3 lakhs or loss, or first 3 lakhs profit, 90% of the profits, or beyond that it is 60% of the profit. Your salary or remuneration should not exceed that limit. Okay, so if the firm is paying within the limits, no, if the firm is paying within the limits, it is allowable for the firm, taxable for the partner. But if they are paying more, it is disallowed for the firm, which means that they are paying tax. Because they are paying tax, it is exempt for me. Okay, so there is one example. If someone don't understand, you can understand here. As per 40B, a partnership firm can pay simple interest of 12% per annum, simple interest to the working partner, okay, or partner. So now this firm is paying 20%. So now what I can say, whenever firm prepares their P&L, they will debit 12%, whatever the amount comes, 12% they will debit. Means they are paying 100, they are paying 20%, but they are claiming as a deduction only 12%. So what about the remaining 8%? they are paying, but they are not getting income tax deduction, right? Which means that they are paying tax on that. So this 12%, because firm is able to escape tax, they are able to get the deduction. This will be taxable for the partner, and 8% because indirectly firm is paying tax on that 8%. This will not be taxable for the partner. Okay, so we have few illustrations also, guys, if anybody still struggles to understand it. Okay, I'll just make a small correction, my head is coming in between. Guys, any questions so far? Any questions so far? Next, I have a patent, I have a copyright. Okay, so if I am not sharing this to anyone, someone is giving me money not to share my know-how patent to anyone else, because that is so good that their business might get affected. So if I'm receiving a money, I'm a lump sum of money to not share my know-how, that will also become my PGBP income. Or not to carry on the activity. What does that mean? I'm having a patent. Example, like someone, an engineer student has found out that a bike will give a mileage of 100 kilometers per liter. Okay, now no bike is giving, but assuming someone has found out. So big corporations can come and say that don't share this knowledge to anyone else, because that will impact our sales, like oil companies, everybody will come and tell them. All right, example. So someone is paying you money not to share the knowledge to anyone else, or don't start the business on your own. Okay, example, if I'm taking classes here, someone is saying, Sampath, please don't take classes in some location, example Vijayawada. So for that they are paying me some money. Okay, assuming they are paying 1 lakh rupees to me not to take any classes in Vijayawada. So that is also not to carry on the business, I am receiving something, right? So that will be a business income. And keyman insurance policy, this will also insurance policies like keyman bole to like whoever is the important person in the organization without whom the company cannot survive is like a keyman. And if you're taking a policy and the policy matures in the hands of the company, like if the company is thinking that if something happens to one employee or if he leaves, we will be at a loss. So they are taking a policy on that important person, right? So if they receive the money, that will be PGBP income. Same way, if they pay the premium on the keyman insurance, it will be expenditure. This will be allowed for them in PGBP. Same way, if the insurance company pays any sum assured on that person's exit, that will be taxable to them under PGBP. See, this keyman insurance policy can be matured on anybody's hands. Example, I'm there, I'm a keyman in one organization, assuming, okay, someone has taken an insurance policy on me for that. If I leave and if they claim that amount, insurance company will make the payment to them directly. So they will be taking that as an income in the PGBP, one thing. Or if the policy is such that I will also get some money, or only I will get the money, okay, if I leave or if I die, if I survive and if I receive the money, it will be taxable to me as my salary, because employer-employee relationship is there. But if I die and if my family members receive that money, they will be paying tax under income from other source. So there are 3 elements for the keyman insurance. One is salary. If it matures in the hands of the employee like me, PGBP, if it matures in the hands of the employer, and family members, income from other source. Okay, it can be anything depending upon the circumstance. And speculation business is not that important, but I'll just quickly run through it. Okay, so speculation business is not that important, but we'll just run through it. Speculation ka matlab you are playing a card game. It's just like don't know the outcome, but just you're betting on this. It's just like a gambling. Okay, you are entering into a contract with someone to take the delivery, but your intention is not to take the delivery. Example, I want to purchase certain grams of gold. I have an intention to take the delivery, assuming that in a year there is a family function at home. So their intention is to take the delivery. But there are some people that they just enter into a contract, but they don't have an intention to take the delivery or take the delivery. Then you call it as a speculative. Transactions not deemed as a speculative transactions. Hedging is something, hedging forward and derivatives, these are all at a final level. If you just happen to be a inter-level student, you find it difficult to understand. So hedging is that there is a flow from one side, and you are protecting that. Your risk management technique by taking opposite position in the opposite market. Okay, for now, if you are entering into hedging, forward or trading or derivatives, it is not a speculative. Not that important for examination point of view. So this is your section 28, guys. Charging section. We have spent enough time on that, thinking that it will be useful for you. Now we'll come to section 29. The reason I'm going section wise is that you will have a grip of the section also. Section 29 will not talk anything. It just says that if you want to calculate income from PGBP, you have to be good with section 30 to 43D. So it's starting with the 30 and ending with a 43D. All these sections you have to use it. So it is not a section, it's just like giving you a guidance as to how this section, chapter will move further. There are admissible deductions, that is from section 30 to 37. So this is only expenditure side, only admissible. Bolato, you are taking insurance, you are taking repairs, you are taking everything that you are incurring for the business. So all admissible expenditure you will be doing it from 30 to 37. I am repeating this point very so many times. If you solve 2-3 problems, you will struck in examination. Entire chapter has to be in your grip, then only you will able to solve the questions. So that is the reason you should know where you are getting hired, right? For PGBP, for you to have an understanding, for if you are solving P&L, these are all your expenses, these are all your incomes, right? We all know that. So section 28 is just talking about what all will be credited in your P&L. What all will be credited in your P&L. We have understood, we have spent so much time on that. Now in section expenditure mein, section 30 se 37 will talk about what all you can debit your P&L. Okay, what all you can debit it. One by one we'll see 30 to 37, and then inadmissible deductions, section 40. So there are certain inadmissible ka matlab, that is not allowed as per income tax. You might have incurred, you might have paid, but you have violated some provision which I said. Okay, I told you to deduct TDS, you are not deducted. I told you to deduct the TDS and pay to the government, you are not paid on time before filing the return of income. Okay, so something or other you are making a violation. You are making some payments to your relative, unnecessary amount you are paying. So that is unreasonable in the opinion of the assessing officer. So all those cases, whenever law draws a line and you cross that line, it will be inadmissible under section 40. And not deductible, again we have 40 small a, capital A also, and you have 41, this is your deemed income. What do you mean by deemed income? Section 41 will talk about all the deemed income, like last year I purchased some goods and I debited my P&L, but from whom I have purchased, that party is not asking me, they are relinquishing their right, or they are like, okay, Sampath, don't pay me 1 lakh, you pay me only 70,000, something like that. I am getting a benefit because of my past expenditure. Okay, so I have debited there, but now it's a relief. Example, I paid rent of 1 lakh rupees. Now the owner is saying, Sampath, because of COVID, no need of paying 1 lakh rupees rent, you pay me only 70,000 rupees rent. Okay, so I'm reducing my liability, right? But I have already debited in my P&L last year. So if I'm getting any benefit because of my past expenditure, last year I have written off bad debts, now I am receiving money on that. So recovery of bad debts, they all will be coming under section 41. It is not an income, but it is a deemed income. So I can say in your P&L, section 28 is one section, one part where you will say all what has to be included in your credit side, it will be coming, and section 41 will be your deemed income. So again, like liability relinquishment, foregoing of any liability, or you are saying some telecommunication rights on which you are getting a benefit, something like that. I will talk about all those things. So all will come under 41. So now we are spending time with section 30 to 37. I'll not be stopping anywhere between. I know only few people are still around, lot of people left, I'm not sure why, but whoever attends, please make sure that you kind of comment. The reason is that I'll also know that you're understanding, okay? It shouldn't so happen that it's only a one-way traffic. Section 30 is rent, rates, taxes, repairs and insurance on building. We'll take one example. Building, I can take it on rent. If I'm paying rent for the building, I'll claim it under section 30. Rates and taxes, if I am paying any local taxes like municipal taxes for the building, I can claim it under section 30. And repairs, again, not capital expenditure, revenue expenditure only I'm incurring. It's not like constructing another roof on top of that. It is just that I'm incurring some revenue expenditure relating to my building. I can debit my P&L under section 30. And insurance, I'm taking burglary insurance or fire insurance for my building. So this also I can claim it under section 30. Not very important, but you have to understand relating to building, anything that you incur, be as a tenant or be as a owner. Assuming that I am a tenant, what I'll incur rent. Sometimes I might have to incur repairs also. But if I'm the owner of the building, I might not pay rent, but I'll pay rates and taxes to the local government. I'll have to incur repairs and I have to take the insurance also. All this will come under section 30. Rent, rates, taxes, repairs, insurance, everything under for building. Coming to section 31, repairs, insurance of machinery, plant and furniture. So what is the difference between section 30 and 31? You are not having rent here. I'm saying rates and taxes you are having for building. Rates and taxes you will not have furniture. So for furniture you will not pay to local government. No. So there is nothing like rates and taxes. Repairs is here. Repairs is here. Insurance is here. Insurance is here. So what is not there? Rent is not there, which means that while they structured this section, they never thought that someone would take machinery, plant and furniture also on a rental basis. Maybe that might have been the thought process. So now if you are paying rent for your machinery, if you are taking a machinery on a rental basis or plant on a rental basis, furniture on a rental basis, nowadays you are finding a lot of startups, they are giving furniture on a rental basis, and you are paying for office furniture, you are taking something on a rental basis and you are paying rent, right? You cannot claim it under section 31, but you can claim it under section 37. Okay, so you can claim it under section 37. Again, I am repeating, for section 30, everything relating to building, you can claim it in your P&L. You can debit your P&L under this section. See, for student purpose, we don't have to think under which section it is debited. It's simply if you are debiting P&L, that's fine. But you are like kind of preparing, filing the return of income, and you want to know under which section each element is coming. That is an issue. Now, for machinery, plant and furniture, you have everything, but rates and taxes you will not have, because there is no government will not ask you rates and taxes for machinery, plant and furniture. Rent, if you are paying for this, you will claim it under section 37. And coming to section 32, depreciation, this is a very lengthy topic. I will be taking you through like a journey. Please be with me for the entire journey. You will understand it, and I'll take the questions. Excellent. Thank you very much. That encourages me. Okay. Those rent rates, etc., should be linked with the business. See, obviously, it need not be your business. See, I am into consulting, accounting consultancy services I give. Okay. For that, I am taking a building on a rental basis. So obviously the building is for my business only, right? And if I take the premises where I am taking this class, this has nothing to do with my business, right? So this rent I cannot claim there. So there has to be, obviously there has to be connection between the building that you are taking for rental and the business that you are doing it. If it is not for the business, and if it is for family, or you're not using it at all, then you're not allowed to do that. Yeah. So coming to depreciation is a very lengthy chapter, but still we'll do it. Depreciation is a mandatory. First thing you remember, it is not that if you are not having a profit in a particular year, you will not be debiting depreciation. It's not like that. You have to debit your P&L with the depreciation compulsorily. Even Even if you have very less profit also, you have to do it. It's a compulsory thing. And coming to the method that we coming to the method of depreciation, see, one request guys, PDF I will share it. Last time also I shared it. I'm not holding it back. Let all of us focus on the topic. Ask as many questions as you can. Let's make this session very interactive. At the end of the session, at the end of our batch, I'll be sharing all in our channel only. Previously also I've shared, now also I'll share. Don't worry about the PDFs. Okay, let the focus be on the chapter. Depreciation, you'll have only two methods of depreciation here. One is SLM. Generally will not follow SLM, only WDV method only we will follow it. But SLM is only an optional for a electricity companies. They have to make a specific choice that I want to go with the SLM based method of depreciation. You have to tell in the year in which you are starting it, or in the year in which you are kind of acquiring for the first time. Before you file the return of income, you have to tell the department that okay, I am choosing SLM as my method of accounting for this. It's an option, it's not compulsory. But other than that, every time you will be using the WDV method only. Okay, and you have block of asset concept. Section 2 clause 11 will talk about block of assets. Not important for examination, just for our understanding. When you say it's a block, the nature of the item should be similar, plus the rate for the item should be same. Example, plant and machinery mein you have certain items which are chargeable at 40%. There are certain items which are chargeable at 100%. There are certain chargeable at 15%, right? So yes, all are plant and machinery only, but some is 15, some is 40, some is 100, right? So let make this one block. Okay, block of assets, plant and machinery 15%, plant and machinery 40%, plant and machinery 100%. You depreciate separately for this, separately for this, separately for this. Okay, so coming to this, we have tangible, intangible. Tangible also you all know. Intangible, that is also very clear. Now depreciation on goodwill has been removed, so we will not be charging depreciation on the goodwill as of now. Whatever, if your block of assets is having any goodwill in your block, like assuming that you have a block of intangibles which are chargeable at 25%, and you have patent, copyright, you have trademark, also you have goodwill, right? So from last year, like it is a retrospective amendment, from last year depreciation of the goodwill is not available. So what the I cannot understand it. What the section is saying is that you remove the WDV of the goodwill from your block. How you can do it? You do it from the beginning, like when you bought it, what was the cost? If that was the single asset, that was the alone asset, alone intangible in your block of asset, how you would have depreciated that amount, you would reduce it from your opening WDV from the last year. That's how we'll do it. Numerically, there is a very less chance of coming in the examination. Just in case if it comes also, you have to separate your block from the WDV of the goodwill. Sir, we have not done anything like that in the past. You have not done it, but you do it because there is a need. Assuming that you bought goodwill 5 years ago for 1 lakh. So what you do is only minus 25%, minus 25%, minus 25%. You do it only for goodwill. Come to WDV at the beginning of the year, last year ka beginning of the year. Then that WDV, that value, you remove it from the entire intangible assets. Problems will do it. No goodwill, no depreciation on the goodwill. Problems, we are doing it, guys. That's what I said. That's what I said it in the thumbnail also. First, we'll focus on the concepts. Even if it is boring for you also, we'll focus on the concept. Once that is done, we will solve the problems also. And one more thing, if you are using any tangible or intangible for less than 180 days, only 50% is allowed. More than 180 days, it is 100% allowed. Be you are using it for 1 day or 179 days, you will be getting only 50% of eligible amount. If it is 180 or more, you will be getting the full depreciation. So there are certain conditions, and one more thing, use includes passive use. This is also important. See, now at the moment I am having a factory, I am using all my machineries. So whatever the depreciation rate is there for that plant and machinery, I'll be charging. Generally it is 15%. Okay, I'll be charging it. but there is fire extinguishers or there are some standby equipments which I don't use it unless it is required. They are standby, they are ready to use, they are not yet put to use. Even the assets which are ready to be used, still on them also I can claim the depreciation. I'll repeat my point. It is not necessary that you have to use the asset to claim the depreciation. Not necessary. If it is ready, see, there is an ambulance in for a company, they are having one ambulance for any emergency of employees. Maybe in a year they might never use that ambulance, assuming nothing has ever happened. So the ambulance is just ready in case something happens to someone. They'll take them to the hospital, nearby hospital. But it is not ready. It is not used. Doesn't mean that you cannot claim depreciation on that. You can still claim the depreciation on that. So power generating units, as I said, generally WDV method is only applicable, but for power generating undertakings, you can take one option, that is irrevocable option of going with the SLM that you will be doing. That must be exercised before filing the return of income under section 139 subsection 1, and that will be final and you cannot change it. That's why I said it is irrevocable. You will not change it. Last year it was nice that I was charging under SLM, but now I want to charge it under WDV below. That is not available. Once you make a decision, just stick with that. Okay, so there is another concept of additional depreciation. Whatever we said is just a normal depreciation. There is also something called additional depreciation. Additional depreciation bole to for certain industries, just to push make in India movement, like we want more people to manufacture, especially for the people who are into manufacturing, we are giving them additional depreciation. What is the purpose of additional depreciation? I am giving you an option to debit your P&L with more amount. Example, in P&L generally what you will do, you will have your sales here, you will have all your expenses, you will have depreciation also, right? Normal depreciation. Along with that, I am telling you debit one more time with the additional depreciation. So when I am debiting more with an expenditure, my profit is coming. I'm sorry. If I am debiting more expenditure, my taxable profit will come down. So I end up paying less tax to the government. So in a way, I'm not paying more tax. So encouraging the manufacturers, government is saying we are allowing you additional depreciation also. You can claim that also. Whenever you have 100% of capital expenditure like 35 AD or scientific research, these are just that we want to push our pharmaceutical companies to have more capacities in India. We should have more labs, more companies manufacturing research, doing research and all. So whenever government wants to push something, they'll say we are giving you more tax benefits instead of directly giving you money. You manufacture a thing, everybody will take normal depreciation, you take normal plus additional depreciation. Okay, so again, additional depreciation is allowed on any new machinery or plant other than ships and aircrafts. So on ships and aircrafts, additional depreciation is not available. Normal depreciation you can claim it. Engaged in the business of manufacturing or production of any article or thing, or in the business of generation or transmission or generation of power at the rate of 20% of the actual cost. So what does that mean? People whoever is there in that manufacturing and generating and transmission of and distribution of power, just to give them some boost, we are giving you 20% more. Okay, so again, if the asset is held for less than 180 days, you will be giving the benefit of only 50%, both the 10% only. So these are all not qualifying assets. Like on this you will not claim additional depreciation. So someone was asking, we should do some problems, right? I accept with you, I'm with you, we'll be solving, but we have to understand which asset is eligible for additional depreciation, which is not eligible. Second hand machinery used within or outside India. B, you are purchasing it from your neighbor. B, you are purchasing it from US, doesn't matter, it's a second hand item, will not be giving you additional depreciation. It is just to make you manufacture more. I'm not telling you to purchase second hand machine, because already on that people are so additional depreciation whenever you are purchasing a new machinery, it will be available, not for second hand. Installed in office premises. In office premises, what all machineries you will install? Printer, AC, any admin related asset. These are not manufacturing anything, right? So government intention is that you should manufacture more. Like you should purchase which are there to produce items. It should not be like, okay, I am having humidity here, I want to purchase one AC, you claim normal depreciation. There is nothing like additional depreciation on that. If I have to claim the additional depreciation in the factory premises, I have to install the items, fresh items. Office, residential accommodation. So quarters, people give it to their employees, right? Quarters also, you might have geyser, you might have AC, you might have any other equipment. The additional depreciation is not allowed because that is not directly involved in the production. Understand simply. Or guest house also, people have all hangama things, it is not allowed. I mean, normal depreciation you can claim, but additional depreciation you will not claim. Office appliances, office mein micro oven or some heater, coffee making machine, anything that comes into your head which is used in the office, not allowed. Or road transport vehicle. For our CEO, we are purchasing one brand new Audi car or some like high profile car. What is the purpose of purchasing that car? Is there any value addition? Is there anything benefit coming to your company? Is that like you are manufacturing more products? Are you generating any economic is there any economic movement is happening because your boss is purchasing a new car? Nothing, right? Only normal depreciation is allowed, additional depreciation is not allowed. So understand the crux of it, guys. That is the reason why I am just repeating it, the points. In examination also, someone purchases something which is second hand, don't claim additional depreciation. Office premises, guest house, campus site, whatever, not allowed. Office premises, 100% expenditure is already allowed. What does this mean? You might have heard this section 35 AD, you will claim 100% of the expenditure on your specified business items except land and building. Okay, so you are already claiming, see, 1 lakh rupees you are spending on a machinery for some pharmaceutical business. 1 lakh rupees you are debiting P&L. See, everybody else will debit only 15,000 rupees. See, I am a manufacturer of a car. I am purchasing a plant and machinery of 1 lakh. So in my P&L, how much will come? Only 15% of 1 lakh. Clear, right? 15,000 only will come. But for some pharmaceutical company, they are taking 100% of the expenditure into P&L. So they are instead of apportioning their expenditure, they are putting everything into one. So everything is allowed in a single shot, right? So already you are getting 100% of the benefit over there. What is the need for you to again claim the additional depreciation? It's like you are claiming more than what you spend, not required. So if you have already taken 100% of the benefit in a single year, don't claim additional depreciation. And there is one CBDT circular, they are saying that okay, so CBDT circular, they are saying printing and publishing is also manufacturing. For like, I am having a printing press here, so there was a dispute or there was a debate whether that is amounting to manufacture or not. It's just a printing, it's not manufacturing anything. So CBDT circular, they said that printing and distribution, this is also a business only, this is also manufacturing only, you can still claim the additional depreciation. And additional depreciation is not allowed for the power generating units. See, just now I said that for power generating units, they have an option to go with the SLM method also. If you are going with the SLM method, you cannot get the additional depreciation, which means that additional depreciation is allowed only for people who are opting WDV. So someone is asking what is the difference between normal depreciation and additional depreciation. There is no difference, guys. See, I am doing my accounting. Just 2 minutes, I'll explain. I am having a sales of 1 lakh rupees. All my other expenditure is amount 80,000. Now I am debiting a depreciation of 15,000. So my net profit will be 5,000. This is very clear, right? As per my accounting, as per our Companies Act accounting. But what the income tax is saying, just to encourage you, the sales 1 lakh will be same, other expenses 80,000 will be same, this normal depreciation 50,000 will be same. On top of that, we are giving you additional depreciation. So up top of that additional depreciation bole to, assuming 20% is additional depreciation, so you can debit additional depreciation of 20,000. So what's happening now? You are getting a net loss of 5,000. So you are not paying tax here, right? You're understanding? How am I encouraging you? I'm encouraging you to manufacture more by purchasing more machineries. ఎక్కువ మెషినరీస్ కొనుక్కొని ఎక్కువ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ చేయి, ఎక్కువ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ని జనరేట్ చేయి, ఎక్కువ ఎకనామిక్ గ్రోత్కి పాలు పాడు. ఓకే, సో ఐమ్ జస్ట్ ఎంకరేజింగ్ యూ టు మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చర్ మోర్. How I'm encouraging you? Everybody else is just taking one depreciation 15,000. They are getting a relaxation of 15,000. But I'm telling you, you can. Everybody is taking only 15,000, but you are getting a depreciation of 35,000 because I'm encouraging you more. So any question guys so far with respect to depreciation? I'll just take 2 minutes break. If anybody is having any question, I'll be answering that happily. Just like a break for my throat also. Yes guys, anybody, any questions? Whoever is there. So there are 18 people still around the session. That's really nice, and at 10:30 also people are there to watch and understand. Just let me know if you have any questions with respect to depreciation. We will be solving the problems also. Any questions? No doubt, right? Yeah. We have something called terminal depreciation. It's like you are taken SLM method. Example I'll give you. In 0th year, you have purchased one machinery for 1 lakh and you opted SLM because you are into power generating and power distribution sector. Okay, see, session, I'm not telling this is just a rapid revision session and only people who have already attended will understand. If you are watching it for the first time also, you will get it, but you need more clarity. You need to spend more time with the solutions. But concept wise, every concept I'll be touching it. The session will be a long session, probably 4-hour session, and it will be really worthy because we are touching every point. Yeah, so you are into power generating sector, I mean like in undertaking, you bought one item, one machinery for 1 lakh rupees and you are chosen SLM. So the life is 6 years, sorry, life is 10 years. So how much depreciation you will charge? 1 lakh original, year 1, 1 lakh divided by 10,000, 1 lakh divided by 10 years. So 10,000 will be depreciation. Are we getting resound? Someone is saying we are getting resound. Is it so? Nobody said that we are getting a resound. Let me check. So I am purchasing a machinery for 1 lakh and at the end of first year I am charging a depreciation of 10,000, so it is becoming 90. Next year again I'll charge 10,000 depreciation, it will become 80. Again 10,000, it will become 70. So now what I am doing is, in the subsequent year I am selling this for 50,000. So the WDV that asset is see, after 1 hour of session you are telling there is a resound. How is it, guys, now? Any vibration? Hello, any vibration now? Hello? Clear? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so what I was saying was I bought a machinery some 4 years back or 3 years back for 1 lakh rupees whose life was 10 years. Okay, so every year I'll be charging a depreciation of 10,000 because that's what your straight line method, right? So now the WDV is 70,000. I'm selling that machinery for 50,000. So there is a difference of 20, right? So 20,000, there is no other item in that block. There is nothing concept of block when I'm selecting SLM. So entire 20,000 I can debit my P&L in the year in which I am selling that asset. So that is what I call it as a terminal depreciation. So when I say terminal depreciation, it means this is a residual depreciation. You are not able to claim it through the sale of that asset. Again, I bought an asset 3 years back for 1 lakh. I charge a depreciation for 3 years at 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Now the WDV opening balance is 70,000. I'm selling it for 50,000. Remaining 20,000 is a loss. Instead of saying it's a loss, it's a terminal depreciation. Everything hit my P&L. This is like I could not assess the life properly at that time. So every loss or all the remaining expenditure, all the remaining value in the for that asset, I will taking it into P&L in the year in which I am selling it. So that is your terminal depreciation. Okay, so now we'll go to the rates of depreciation. I would say just before the examination, on the examination day, just to go through this. I mean, you are having in your study material also. Just go through these rates. It's important once. Okay, so building may we have buildings which are used mainly for residential purpose, only 5%. Examples for guest house, for employees के लिए whatever the rooms that you provide, accommodation you provide, they will be charged at 5%. Assuming for a big manufacturing company, they will have buildings for their office. At the same time, they will have certain quarters for their employees. So that will become a different block. And whatever the buildings they are given for quarters for employees, they will be charging it at 5%. And next, buildings which are not used mainly for 1 and 3 above, that will be 10%. This is general rate. Buildings acquired on or after 1st September 2002 for installation machinery and plant and machinery for water supply projects or water treatment systems which are put to use for the purpose of business of providing infrastructure facility, 40%. For water treatment facilities, water treatment structures, it is 40%. Normal building for employees related accommodation, 5%. For your main business, 10%. For water treatment systems, it is 40%. And purely temporary erections such as wooden structures, 40%. Earlier it used to be 100%, but now they made it like 40% only. Just go through once before the examination. And furniture and fixture, 10%. This will be useful for you for your salary head chapter also. We will be doing it at 10%. And plant and machinery, 30% if it is between these two. Okay, motor cars other than those used in the business of running them on hire, acquired during the period between this and this and put it to use on or before 31st March 2020, 30%. Like you are purchasing motor cars, but it is not for what you call it, business of running. It's like you're not using it for Ola, you're not using it for anything for business purpose. It's only for your employees, for your management. It's only for your own business. So at that time it will be 30%. Motor cars other than those, it will be 15% if it is between these two dates. Motor cars other than those used in the business of running them on hire acquired during the period this to this and put to use on or before 31st March. Motor cars, other than that, it's 45%. Like if it is if you are using it for hiring purpose, and lorries it is 30%. Malls, rubbers, plastic goods factories 30%. Aeroplanes, aero engines 40%. Just reading it, guys. It's not that important, but just one day before examination, just go through this. And specified air pollution control equipments 40%. Semiconductor industry covering all integrated circuits 30%. Life saving medical equipment 40%. Water treatment 40%. Oil wells 15%. Renewable energy 40%. Just important for examination. Windmills 40%. Electrical generations 40%. And this is 15% electrical. This is before 31st March 2014. This is 1st April 2014. Computers 40%. This is important for examination. Books 40%, be it annual publications or other than annual publication. Yeah, so it is 40%. Books 40%, plant and machinery 15%. This is a general. This is like your default rate is 15%. Ocean going ships 20%. This is also important. Somewhere you might have to remember. Vessels 20%, boats 20%, intangibles 25%. This is also important. So there is nothing to explain here. Just I'm just running through. Mobile phones and paperbacks are not considered as computers and hence not eligible for 40% rate. Okay, so mobile phones, whatever you use it is not a computer, right? So only computers are 40%. This will be coming under general category only. But UPS, printers, scanners, etc. are eligible for 40%. Like for this this computer, whatever I'm using it now, if I'm having a printer, so obviously I'll be printing with this laptop only, right? So it's all computer related accessory. If I'm having a UPS, if there is no power, I'll be using that power for this. So this you can claim 40%, but this mobile phones and all, it will be general 15%. So as someone said, we will be doing the problems also. I request everyone to open your open a book, have the calculator in your hand, solve it now with the understanding that I give. Anyway, answers are there. I'm not saying we don't have an answer, but let's see how far your conceptual clarity, how far you are good with your concepts. Okay. Opening WDV for a company is 30 lakh. New plant and machinery purchased and put to use on this date 20 lakh. So new plant and machinery bole to you will claim normal depreciation, you will claim additional depreciation. For opening, is it a new plant and machinery? See, I'm having a plant and machinery from last 4 years. Is it newly acquired in the current year? No, right? So here I'll be calculating only the normal depreciation, but for new I'll be applying the normal depreciation plus additional depreciation because it is a new plant and machinery acquired and put to use on this date. So again it's a new, right? I'll be using normal depreciation plus additional depreciation. See, dates, when they are given dates in the examination, make sure that you are calculating 180 days. Okay, so if it is less than that, you will be taking only 50% of it. And computers, so computers, just now I said computers percentage is important for you. Computers, you will be charging it at 40%, and they are installed it on this date. So less than 180 days, you will be doing it only 50%. I'll just wait for 2 minutes. Let's see how many of you can do it. See, even if someone is even someone is doing it for the first time, please use a calculator and do it in your book. Then it's like a good proper classroom practice. Otherwise it's more like listening to a movie, watching a movie, nothing else, right? Yeah, so Telugu lo cheptanu, rockstar, it's language తో అది కాదు. మనకి ఇక్కడ పాయింట్ ఏంటంటే మనం ఈ సమ్స్ ని చేద్దాము ఇవాళనే బుక్ లోనే మనం చేద్దాం, then we will get that clarity of how good we are. So what I want you to do is, you prepare 2 columns. One is plant and machinery 15%, and for computer 40%. Normal depreciation, additional depreciation. I'll be giving 2 minutes. I know answers are there. My point is very clear. Just try to apply this in your book. If you can get it, I'm saying in examination it will come for 5 marks. You can get at least 4 marks. Okay, so I'll just take a break of a minute. I'll come back and see how many of you can solve this. Okay, I want what is the depreciation for each thing, like plant and machinery normal, plant and let's see how many of you can do it. Even if you have answers, I would suggest please do it. See how many of you are giving answers, guys. See answer చెప్పండి. Whatever the language may be, please give me the answer. ఇప్పుడు ఇంతసేపు నేను అరిచి చెప్పాను కదా, లైక్ డెప్రిసియేషన్, నార్మల్ డెప్రిసియేషన్, అడిషనల్ డెప్రిసియేషన్ అని. ఒక్కసారి దీనికి అప్లై చేసి చెప్పండి. ఎంతమంది చెప్పగలుగుతారో దట్ మేక్స్ మీ ప్లీజ్. ఎవరైనా చెప్తున్నారా అది ఆన్సర్ని? No. So I'll be giving the answer. నేను ఆన్సర్ చెప్తాను. See, this will be discouraging me also if you don't try to give the answer. Just watching doesn't help me also. See, opening దీనిపైన 15%, న్యూ ప్లాంట్ అండ్ మెషినరీ పైన దీనిపైన నార్మల్ డెప్రిసియేషన్ 15%, అడిషనల్ డెప్రిసియేషన్ 20%, and this for this normal depreciation 15%, additional depreciation 20%, because both are eligible for additional depreciation, but because it is put to use for less than 180 days, it's only 50% will be eligible here. And computer acquired and installed in the office premises kabatti additional depreciation will not be there, only normal depreciation will be there. Okay, so you see it 30 lakh. See, opening 30 lakhs undi kada, 30 lakhs computer 20% depreciation. Correct, one answer. Let's see how many of you can answer this very quickly. I'll wait for a minute, then I'll go to the other chapters. Anyway, you can see the answer here. Yes. I'll just quickly do it. We will not be solving. That's what I said it. I'll just ask you to do it. A newly qualified chartered accountant, Mr. Dawal, commenced practice and has acquired the following assets in the office during this period at the cost shown against each item. Calculate the amount of depreciation that can be claimed from his professional income for assessment year 23 to 24. Assume that all the assets were purchased by way of account payee check. Okay, so I'll just will not be doing anything. Just we'll just discuss and go it. Computer, including computer software. So this is 40%. When did he put to use? 1st October. So it is more than 180 days. So 40% you can claim it here. Computer UPS also part of a computer block only. This is also eligible for 40%. So I appreciate someone is trying to give the answer. So that encourages me also, guys. Don't think that I'm just shouting it here. The more you participate, the more answers you give it. No, so somewhere it makes me feel that I'm able to deliver. I'm able to explain you the concept. Computer printer. This is also 40%. But 1st October. So it is more than 180 days. So you can claim it for 100%. Books, out of which books are annual publications are 12,000. So totally he is purchasing 13,000 books. I told be it normal, be it annual publication, you will be taking 40%. Just check the date. If it is for whole year, you will charge it 40%. And office furniture acquired from a practicing chartered accountant. This date 3 lakh. So office furniture bole to this is a different block. Laptop also will come under computer only 43,000. So now I want one answer from you. If any, see, I just discussed what all will come. Computer 40%, this also come for 40%, this also 40%, laptop also 40%, furniture 10%, books 40%. Let's see who will give the answer. I'll just wait one minute for one question. UPS is part of a computer. So whatever the rate that you consider for computer, you will take it for UPS also. So Ramesh, Jacob, Amruta, so Raj. So I'm happy few people are answering. So you try to understand. ఒకటి అర్థం చేసుకోండి. మీ పార్టిసిపేషన్ నాకు ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ ఇస్తుంది. ఓకే, 50% కాదు, 40%. ఓకే, సో ఈ రెండింటిని ఒక దానిలో పెట్టిన both are same rate, right? I'm sorry. So computer as well as books, both are plant and machinery and both are having same rate. I'm sorry, but it's 40%. So how many of you got this 30,000 and 34,500 respectively, guys? Amount is not visible, huh? Yeah. So how many of got this number? Just let me know. 30 and 34,500. Still amount is not visible. Laptop 40. Amount visible కాదంటే నేను ఇక్కడ వెళ్తే వస్తుందా? If I go this side, okay, how many of you are getting this number? So plant see block 2 lo did you not get 34,500? Guys, try to answer that, then only we can make the session interactive. So in the night time lo you will not feel that energy of solving it, okay, just by watching it. Just do it. If you get mistake also, if you make a mistake also, it's fine, you will learn from it. Is anybody getting 34,500? Okay, Rohit, good. If anybody is still having doubt, just have a look at this and compare your answers with these answers, and just let me know if anything is still not clear. $44,800 ఎలా వస్తుంది జస్ట్ ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసుకో కృష్ణ పవన్. Just check once you are able to get, so that's great. Okay, so the intention is not like a context, like over చెప్తున్నారు ఎవరు చేస్తున్నారు అనే కాంటెక్స్ట్ చూడకండి. ఇట్స్ మోర్ అబౌట్ హౌ గుడ్ యు ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు అప్లై ద కాన్సెప్ట్ చెప్పడం వరకే నాది, అది అప్లై చేయడం మీదే కదా. సో జస్ట్ apply yourself. So what is the percentage if electric items are less than 180 days? 50%. Everything is 50%. 50% అంటే దాని అర్థం 50% అని కాదు, 50% of whatever the percentage. See, general default rate is 15% plant and machinery. If you are using it for less than 180 days, it should be 7.5%. ఎలా 50%? ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ చూద్దాం. UPS is used for less than 180 days, right? So generally it is 40%, right? 40% multiplied by 50%, so it is 20%. Wherever it is 50% అంటే దాన్ని 50% తో మల్టిప్లై చేయకండి, 50% of the original percentage. Okay, so it's a good context, guys. Whoever is participating, just think that we are checking how good we are in the examination hall. Okay, anybody, any questions? Shall I go to the next one? We have more questions to come. Okay, Sai Limited has a block of assets carrying 15% rate of depreciation. So they have only given the depreciation rate, whose WDV on this date is 40 lakh. It purchased another asset, second hand plant and machinery. Second hand, I told second hand ke liye you will not get additional depreciation, only normal depreciation of the same block on this date for 11,40,000. So when the date is given, you check it properly. Is it 180 days? Is it 180 days or less than 180 days? Sai Limited was amalgamated with the CRD Limited on this date. So now is a question of amalgamation. So whenever there is a question of amalgamation, I just explain the concept. There is a company is getting amalgamated with a B company, right? So now how the depreciation will be calculated, because amalgamation అనేది ఎప్పుడు ఇయర్ స్టార్టింగ్ ఇయర్ ఎండ్ కాదు కదా, వాళ్ళు ఇష్టం వచ్చినప్పుడు చేసుకుంటారు. దే విల్ డూ ద అమల్గమేషన్ వెన్ ఎవర్ దే వాంట్ ఇట్. సో ఇట్ కెన్ బి ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ ద ఇయర్ ఆల్సో. సో వాట్ యూ విల్ డూ ఇస్, whenever there is an amalgamation in between the year, amalgamation, demerger, merger, whatever you call it, number of days held by the previous company, like amalgamating company, you have to do it number of days basis. This is amalgamated company, number of days. See, from 1st April 2021, in this question 2022, yeah, so 2022 say when they got amalgamated, they amalgamated it on 1st Jan 2023, 1st Jan 2023. So you have to understand how many days are held by the previous company, which is a previous company, Sai Limited, and from this date to 31st March 2023, how many days are held by the new company? What is that number? Shirdi. Okay, so now you calculate the normal depreciation. I will not be showing the numbers. Normal depreciation first you calculate, and you calculate additional depreciation and bifurcate that depreciation between previous company to new company, Sai company and Shirdi company, based upon the number of days held by them. So I'll be taking 2 minutes. Again, I'm telling you again, it is more of your practice. All questions should be your practice. Take that responsibility to solve it. Even if it is a mistake, nothing. This comments nobody is going to watch and check again. Everybody will forget it. Okay, you will know where you are standing in the examination atmosphere. Okay, see, whoever watching this, just make sure that you participate. You not like participating. You take your book, you solve it. Might not be very neatly, but at least you solve it. Then let me know what the answer. Check the answer and see how far you are good. See, 20 people are watching, so I'm assuming at least 10 people can answer this, right? 10 people, I can expect 10 people to answer. ఏదో తెలియని జోష్ నాకు కూడా వస్తుంది కదా. దిస్ కెన్ బి యువర్ 4-mark క్వశ్చన్. ఒక కంపెనీ ఇంకో కంపెనీతో అమల్గమేట్ అవుతుంది, వాడికి నార్మల్ డెప్రిసియేషన్ ఫస్ట్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయి, అడిషనల్ డెప్రిసియేషన్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయి, నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ డేస్ బేసిస్లో స్ప్లిట్ చేయి. అండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ కెన్ ఆన్సర్ దట్ ప్రాపర్లీ, యూ విల్ గెట్ 5కి 3.5 అనే మినిమం వస్తాయి. మిగతాది విల్ సీ ద ప్రజెంటేషన్. We'll see who gives the answer first will get a chocolate from me. You will get a chocolate. Total depreciation atla cheyyaku Jacob. First normal separate cheyi, additional separate cheyi, normally separate ga apportion cheyi, additionally separate ga apportion cheyi. That's what the section is saying. I didn't read the section because it's not such an important section to read. But application wise, you calculate normally separately, normal depreciation separately, additional depreciation separately, normal depreciation you allocate separately, additional depreciation you allocate separately. Might be your answer is right. I don't know the answer. I'm eager to see the answer. But good attempt. Whoever is watching, I suggest your book might appear to be very small, but in examination you will get the pressure will get better of you. So put it simply, normal depreciation 40 lakh के ऊपर 15%. This is the opening. And additional they have acquired 14,40,000 worth of it on this date, so 7.5%. Additional depreciation again 14.4 lakh multiplied by 10%. So Raj, no Raj. So amalgamation is happening on 1st Jan 2023. You need not delete your comments, it's okay. Nobody is judging nobody. Okay, now we'll go to the answer. We have given sufficient time. Opening 40 lakh, they purchased one item worth of 14,40,000, so it is coming 54,40,000. Depreciation on opening 15%, 6 lakhs, and whatever the purchase is there, that is held for, that is used by less than 180 days, so only 50% of 15%, which is 7.5%. So this is the normal depreciation. And okay, so how much it is coming? 765 days. The amalgamation was happening on 1st Jan, right? So Jan and 31 Feb, March. So 90 days amalgamated company lo untundi. 365 minus 90, 275 amalgamating company. So 6 lakhs multiplied by 275 divided by 365, and 1,08,000, because that is what they purchased in between the year. So for purchases, when did they purchase? They purchased it on 1st November, right? So November, December, so 61 days prior, and post again 90, I guess. Yeah, 90. So is anybody having question with respect to calculating the number of days? Number of days calculate చేయడంలో ఎవరికైనా ఒక అండర్స్టాండింగ్ కావాలా? I'll explain, because I want everyone to understand it and everyone to do it in the examination, not only few people. See, మన ఇయర్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది? We are starting on 1st April 2023. వీడు సెంటర్లో ఉన్నాడంటే ఎప్పుడు కొన్నాడు? 1st Jan 2023. 1st Jan 2023 ఇక్కడ అమాల్గమేషన్ జరిగింది. వాడు ఒక సెంటర్లో ఎప్పుడు కొన్నాడంటే ఎప్పుడు కొన్నాడు? 1st November 2022. సారీ, 1st November 2022. Okay, so my point here is, for opening balance, number of days here to here, and you are closing your books on 31st March 23. Here to here. So calculation from 1st Jan to date of amalgamation to end. So Jan 1st kada, Jan 30, Feb 28, March 90 days. So 90 days here minus 365, 275 days here. But for the asset which is purchased in between the year, here to here, అంటే నవంబర్లో 30 days, sorry, డిసెంబర్ 61 days, year to year 90 days. Anybody having any question with respect to calculation of number of days? Because this is what important. Even though you understand the concept, you have to apply this in your numericals, right? Number of days calculate చేయడంలో ఎవరికైనా డౌట్ ఉందా? Just let me know. Depreciation, you are clear now. Okay, opening separately you are doing. You purchase something in between the year, they are doing that separately. Both are calculated separately. But now the question is, how do you amortize it? At least a few people answer, guys. Is there any question with respect to calculating the number of days? Opening ante starting nunchi undi kada, beginning of the year to the amalgamation date. But for whatever the asset that you are purchasing in between the year, eppudu konnado appar nunchi, from the date of purchase till the acquisition, till the amalgamation. Only one person is saying clear. guys, I bought one machinery 5 years back, which means that it is still there in my opening balance sheet. So that is my opening balance sheet, opening WDV, right? Opening WDV. Old company is Sai, new company is Shirdi. Old company, see, from opening to the date of amalgamation, they are holding. Only Sai company opening date nunchi ante first ikkad nunchi amalgamation ayyenta varaku they were only holding the asset opening value. Okkasari amalgamation ayin tarvata it is held by the Shirdi company. So this is held by them from the date of amalgamation to close of the year. This is clear. ఎట్లా చెప్తున్నాను, ఫస్ట్ జాన్ కదా, జాన్లో 31 days, ఫిబ్రవరి 28 days, మార్చ్లో 31 days. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ కమింగ్ 90 days. సో 90 days ఇస్ హెల్డ్ బై ద న్యూ కంపెనీ Shirdi. అంటే 365 minus 90 చేస్తే 275 is held by the Sai company. It is clear. Now whatever the asset that you bought during the year, ఏ అసెట్ అయితే నువ్వు సెంటర్లో కొంటున్నావో, when did you purchase? You purchase it on 1st November, right? సో నవంబర్ నుంచి అమాల్గమేషన్ వరకు Sai company, amalgamation nunchi ending variki Shirdi company. See, opening, and that is the reason why we are saying do it separately for opening by WDV and do it separately for the asset that is bought during the year. Center lo unnadaniki separate ga cheyandi, opening daniki separate ga cheyandi. This is opening, this is during. Not writing clearly, not required also. Any question, guys? Only 2 people, Mamata, Vivek, Rohit. Okay, 4 people are saying clear. Kiran, I hope it is clear now. Opening lo ఉన్నదాన్ని ఓపెనింగ్ నుంచి అమాల్గమేషన్ అయ్యే వరకు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయి, సెంటర్లో ఉన్నదాన్ని కొన్నప్పటి నుంచి అమాల్గమేషన్ అయ్యే వరకు క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయి, రిమైనింగ్ ది వాడు తీసుకుంటాడు, కొత్త వాడు. ఇట్స్ ఓకే. నెక్స్ట్ యాక్చువల్ కాస్ట్ సెక్షన్ 43(1). ఇది ఏంటి అంటే మనకు WDV అంటే మీకు సెక్షన్ 43 విల్ టాక్ అబౌట్ హౌ డూ యూ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద WDV, హౌ డూ యూ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ ద బ్లాక్ ఆఫ్ అసెట్ కాన్సెప్ట్. ఓపెనింగ్ వాల్యూ ఇట్ ఈస్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్, దట్ ఇస్ ఫైన్. అసెట్ అక్వైర్డ్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద ఇయర్ ఈస్ లైక్ యువర్ కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ అక్విజిషన్. ఓకే, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఫార్మాట్ ఈస్ లైక్ దిస్. ఓపెనింగ్ WDV ఇట్ విల్ కమ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ ప్లస్ కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ అక్విజిషన్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యువర్ అక్వైరింగ్, దట్ యువర్ 43(1). Whatever you are acquiring during the period, that is your 43(1). So what they are saying is, if you are paying anything in excess of 10,000, you make sure that you pay it through account to pay check drawn on a bank, or it is in a bank draft, or it is a clearing system, or it is any prescribed modes like credit card, debit card, net banking, IMPS, UPI, RTGS, NEFT, BHIM, other pay. Okay, so these are all specified through circular. But now the question you understand, this section is relevant not just here, it is relevant everywhere. Whenever you are making any payment, be not just for your capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, for capital expenditure also. This provision was not there earlier, like 3-4 years back. Now even if you are purchasing a new plant and machinery, anything, acquisition of any asset, if you are making a payment more than 10,000, you have to do it through account to pay check drawn on a bank. It is not a crossed check alantivi kaadu. Okay, and then UPI, RTGS, NEFT, BHIM, other pay kuda fine, debit card, credit cards. Actual cost in certain special circumstances. See, if you are taking any scientific research asset, already they might have used 100% of it. Assuming that I am into pharmaceuticals, I bought one asset for 1 lakh. In the single year only, I'll debit everything. So when I'm debiting everything and I am selling this asset to you now, so what is the cost for you? It's 0. Maybe you are paying something to me, but it is a 0 because from income tax purpose you already claimed everything. Inventory converted into capital asset, fair market value on the date of conversion. So whenever, example, land or building, something like that, so you are converting inventory into capital asset, the value, fair market value on the date of conversion will be your value. And if it is like gift or inheritance, I am gifting you something, right? So whatever the cost to me, that will be the cost to you. Okay, section 14 will talk about it. And second hand has assets like డెలిబరేట్లీ యూ ఆర్ పర్చేసింగ్ సెకండ్ హ్యాండ్ ఐటమ్స్ ఎట్ ఎ హయ్యర్ ప్రైస్. కావాలంటే మనం ఇట్లా చేసుకోవచ్చు కదా. నాకు తెలిసిన మనకి ఏం చెప్తున్నా అంటే, అరే అది అసెట్ 1 lakh కదా, నేను నీకు 10 lakhs ఇచ్చినట్టు నేను బుక్లో చూపించుకుంటా, సో దట్ ఐ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ మోర్ డెప్రిసియేషన్. ఐ కెన్ మేక్ సచ్ అరేంజ్మెంట్స్, రైట్? సో ఇఫ్ ద అసెసింగ్ ఆఫీసర్ ఫీల్స్ దట్ you are deliberately purchasing at a higher price to claim higher depreciation, they will reduce the price also, so as decided by the assessing officer. Reacquisition of assets, it is like I am having this bill, ల్యాప్టాప్. ఈ ల్యాప్టాప్ ప్రస్తుతానికి నేను కొన్నది ఒక 60,000 కొన్నాను. ఇప్పుడు అమ్మితే మేబీ ఒక 20,000 అమ్ముతాను. సో ఐఎమ్ సెల్లింగ్ యూ ఎట్ 20,000. ఓకే, అజ్యూమింగ్ దట్ ఈస్ మై WDV, అజ్యూమింగ్. And I'm purchasing from you at 1.5 lakh. Deliberately I'm selling to purchase at a higher price. What is the intention? Because I can have more depreciation in my books of accounts. Atla emana talatikka yeshalu este kuda what they say is, what is the WDV at the time of sale, or what is my repurchase price, whichever is lower, dane actual cost ani antadu. I'll repeat. You are selling an item and reacquiring it. That time the actual cost will be not what you are paying to that person. It is rather what was your WDV before sale and what is the repurchase price, whichever is lower will be your cost of acquisition. Previously property of the assessee. Okay, see, I constructed a building for myself. I am using it for last 5 years. Now I am converting my personal building to my office building. I want to start there only classes and everything. So what is the cost for me? I bought it 5 years back, right? So had you used the building for your business purpose, what would have been your depreciation? So on a notional way, you calculate the depreciation on the self acquired property and come to your WDV. That will be the cost of acquisition, and on that you will claim the depreciation. I'll repeat once again. 5 years back I bought one building for myself with my, I'm using it for my family purpose. Now after 5 years I want to use it for my business purpose. So now my cost is your original acquisition cost minus notional depreciation that you would have charged had you used this building for the business purpose from its inception. కొన్నప్పటి నుంచి నువ్వు బిజినెస్కే యూజ్ చేసి ఉంటే ఎంత డెప్రిసియేషన్ చార్జ్ చేసేవాడివో నోషనల్గా ఒకసారి చార్జ్ చేసి రిమైనింగ్ అమౌంట్ని నువ్వు యూ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ అక్విజిషన్. If holding company is giving to subsidiary company, whatever is the cost of the holding company, that will be the cost to the subsidiary, or whatever subsidiary company related to the holding company, then whatever is the cost to the subsidiary company will be the cost to the holding company, like that. Amalgamating, demerger, all the same concept. So this format is important, guys, from examination perspective. I'm just marking it as important. The format is like, what is your WDV at the beginning of the year, like your closing WDV at the end of the last year, and whatever is you are acquiring during the period, that will be the cost of acquisition, and then reduced by monies receivable in respect of whatever you sell, that will be your, see, this is your purchases, but don't use the word purchases here, rather use the word cost of acquisition. Here don't use the word sale, but it is monies receivable in respect of your sales. Okay, in case of slump sale it's not so important at this point of time, but whatever you are selling, that should go out, and this will be the WDV for the purpose of depreciation. On that you charge the depreciation, and then you will find your closing WDV. This will become the opening WDV for the next year. See, goodwill also a concept I explained. There is no concept of depreciation on the goodwill. So if you had depreciation in your block of assets prior to 2020 to 21, you calculate that goodwill separately, and a goodwill calculation separately calculate చేసి as if goodwill was the only asset in that block. గుడ్విల్ ఒకటే అంటే గుడ్విల్ మాత్రమే ఉంటాం, ఎలా చేసామో అలా సపరేట్గా చేసి దాన్ని ఎలిమినేట్ చేసి ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ బుక్స్ ఆఫ్ అకౌంట్స్ అని చెప్పి స్టాండర్డ్ చెప్తుంది. Carrying forward of depreciation, unabsorbed depreciation. There is something called unabsorbed depreciation. I'll explain you the concept. We are preparing our P&L. See, a lot of people are closing the session, guys. Only few people are there, but it's okay. So the point is, I am preparing my P&L. I am having a sales of, assuming 1 lakh. all my expenditure, other expenditure 80,000, depreciation 15,000. See, if there is a depreciation of 15,000, I cannot debit 15,000 as a depreciation, rather I should debit only 10,000 as my depreciation, remaining 5,000 I will amortize in the next year. So that is called unamortized depreciation. See, a company is in such a state that they are not able to generate the revenue equivalent to their depreciation. It is like that. Okay, I'll repeat once again. You cannot have a negative profits because of depreciation. Depreciation charge చేస్తే నెగటివ్ ప్రాఫిట్ వస్తుంది అంటే అట్లా చేయకండి, అంటే లాస్ వచ్చేటట్టుగా చేయకండి. You claim it only as much as required. Whatever you cannot claim it, that you call it as unabsorbed depreciation, you will carry forward for the subsequent year and you will set it off subsequently. There is no time period. జనరల్గా మనకు బిజినెస్కి 4 years, స్పెక్యులేటివ్ లాస్కి 4 years, జనరల్ బిజినెస్ 8 years, స్పెక్యులేటివ్ లాస్ 4 years అలా ఉంటుంది కదా. బట్ ఫర్ దిస్ పర్పస్ దెర్ ఇస్ నో సచ్ కాన్సెప్ట్. You will use it or you will amortize it, you will carry forward it indefinite period of time. Order of set off, whenever we solve the problem, it will be useful. It is useful in your set off and carry forward chapter also. First you will do for current year depreciation. So you cannot say that no I will not provide depreciation now, I will provide later only. You cannot say it. It is compulsory that you have to charge the depreciation. If you cannot debit your P&L, you at least call it as unabsorbed depreciation. But first of all, you calculate and keep it ready. Okay, and then brought forward business losses and then unabsorbed depreciation. So you might think that why unabsorbed is coming last and brought forward is coming second, because brought forward business loss, it will have only 8 years of expiry date. So you cannot claim it, you cannot carry forward it for more than 8 years. But this is unlimited, right? So that is the reason why brought forward business loss is first set off, and then we'll go with the unabsorbed depreciation. Unabsorbed depreciation, you can set it off with any other profit but except salaries. Even if the business is not continuing, still you can do it. Assuming we are into manufacturing of something, company is going into losses, so every year we are getting losses only. We were not able to debit our P&L, so that is like unabsorbed depreciation. Then what I'm thinking, because this company, this business is not moving, I'm closing this business, but other businesses are still going good. Like I'm having trading business also, I'm having some other royalty business also on the same product. Manufacturing I'm stopping, but other things I'm continuing. What the standard is saying is, what the section is saying is, depreciation relating to the discontinued business also can be carried forward and set off with other businesses. There is no need for you to have the same business. So there is one question, but because we have only few people, so I am also not taking this illustration. We'll complete the other provisions. I thought you would be interested in doing it. So balancing charge, this also I explained, like whenever you are selling an asset and you don't have a block and you are selecting a SLM method, whatever is left as a WDV, everything you charge it in this year in which you are making a sale, if it is a deficit, so that you are calling it as a terminal depreciation. But if you are getting more than the WDV, then that you call it as a balancing charge. We have a question, I will solve this with the question, then you will understand. Just hold on, this is a question. So same question will come, same concept will be applicable in power sector undertaking, and same with the telecommunication also. Telecommunication also, the concept is very simple. The moment you make the payment for that spectrum or the telecommunication licenses, you have to amortize over the period of the life. Like if it is coming for 10 years and you are making, assuming 10 crores, every year you debit 1 crore, 1 crore, 1 crore. Okay, and assuming that you bought the license today, but you are starting the business after 2 years, so you cannot debit it now. Whenever you start the business from that year till the expiry of the license, like second year se 10th year tak, so 8 years only you will claim it. So 10 crores divided by 8, you will do it. Okay, so we have one question, if anybody wants to understand with the question. X Limited providing telecommunication services acquired a telecommunication license at a cost of 50 lakh on this date for a period of 10 years. Assuming the telecommunication license is transferred by X Limited on previous year 2022 to 23, say for 32 lakh, 43 lakh and 52 lakhs. Tell me how this is to be calculated. So this kind of a question you can expect in examination, guys. So he bought one license for 50 lakh. Okay, when did he buy? Between 2020 to 21. So 2020 to 21, 1 year. 21 to 22, second year. So here 50 lakhs divided by 10, 5 lakh, 5 lakh. So it will become 40. So 40 is your WDV. Assuming that you are selling it for 32 lakh. Case number 1. 50 lakhs is your opening cost actually. 5 is the first year depreciation, second is the second year depreciation, 40 is a WDV. Case number 1, if you are selling it for 32, means your WDV is 40, you are selling it for 32, so remaining 8 you call it as a terminal depreciation. You charge it in the year in which you are selling that asset. Case number 2, WDV is 40, you are selling it for 43 lakh. Your WDV itself is 40, but you are selling it for more than your WDV, right? So 3 lakhs you are getting more. Do you call it as a capital gain? No, not a capital gain. The reason is that you already debited 5 lakhs in the first year, 5 lakh in the second year, right? Out of this 10 lakh which you debited your P&L, you are getting more now, right? So you reverse it. So this 3 lakh is called balancing charge. Means this is a income. This is expenditure. Balancing charge. Okay. So third one, again 50 is the opening cost, 5 lakh is a depreciation for the first year, 5 lakh is a depreciation for second year, so it is becoming 40. Now you are selling it for 52 lakh. So 52 lakh mein what they are saying is original cost is 50, original without depreciation. Originally you bought it for 50, now you are selling it for 52. So there is a 2 lakhs over and above the original cost, right? So the 2 out of 12 lakh profit, 2 lakh is relating to the original cost only, right? So that will be your short term capital gain, and 10 lakh is what you are debited in the last 2 years, like 5 lakh and 5 lakh. So this will be your balancing charge. Okay, any question, guys? Only few people are there. I told that the more participation I get, the more energy I also generate, but it's fine. Whoever is there, is it clear, or anybody is having any question on this? You can expect some 4 to 5 marks on this telecommunication license or electricity undertaking me, which I selected SLM method as a depreciation. Any question? Any question, anyone? Clear? Yeah. See, if whatever the calculation I said it is, like when you are selling the entire asset, you don't have anything else. Assuming that you are selling a part of the asset. Example, I am receiving that telecommunication license to operate for the whole of Telangana, example. Now what I am doing is I am selling for only Hyderabad location, remaining locations I am keeping for myself. Okay, so now if I am selling for the entire license, this is a calculation. If I am selling it for the part of the no, entire thing will be short term. The reason we will not see the period of holding. Any asset which is depreciated, like all depreciable assets will have either a short term capital gain or a long term capital gain. Sorry, short term capital gain or short term capital loss. There is no concept of long term for a depreciable assets. Yeah. So concept I was explaining was, if you are selling for the entire asset, this is the calculation. If you are selling for a part of the asset, Okay, some part is still there with the company, remaining amount. So here already 2 years are done, right? Now you sold a part of the asset for 32 lakh, so remaining 8 lakh is still there. Still you can use it, right? You can use it for next 8 years. So 8 divided by 8, that will be your depreciation. So for the remaining amount, remaining period, you amortize it. That's it. Next we'll go to section 35 AD, specified business. This is very important for examination, guys. యా, సో స్పెసిఫైడ్ బిజినెస్ అంటే మనకు స్పెక్యులేటివ్ బిజినెస్ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది, నార్మల్ బిజినెస్ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది, స్పెసిఫైడ్ బిజినెస్ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. స్పెసిఫైడ్ బిజినెస్ అంటే దీస్ ఆర్ ద బిజినెసెస్ విచ్ గవర్నమెంట్ వాంట్స్ టు పుష్, గవర్నమెంట్ వాంట్స్ టు ఎంకరేజ్, because they want to encourage people to invest more. What they do is they will give you they will give you an ability to debit all your revenue expenditure as well as capital expenditure. What do you mean by that? If I'm doing my P&L for a normal business, I'm saying for a manufacturing company, all revenue expenditure I will claim 100%. You all know, salary I'm paying, rent I'm paying, bonus I'm paying, everything you will claim it 100% that year. For capital expenditure, what you will do is you will claim only 15%, assuming 15% is a block of it. అంటే క్యాపిటల్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్కి మనం ఓన్లీ డెప్రిసియేషన్నే తీసుకుంటున్నాం కానీ ఫుల్ ఇవ్వట్లే కదా, టు ఎంకరేజ్ పీపుల్ టు కమ్ అప్ విత్ దీస్ బిజినెసెస్ బికాస్ దీస్ ఆర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ అవర్ ఎకానమీ యాజ్ ఎ హోల్. దే ఆర్ సేయింగ్ విల్ గివ్ యూ 100% capital expenditure. So that is a benefit for us, right? 14 బిజినెసెస్ ఉన్నాయి మొత్తము. ఎగ్జామ్లో ఇవి అడిగే ఛాన్సెస్ తక్కువ, బట్ by looking into the question itself we should understand which is a specified business, which is not a specified business. Cold storage facility మనం విలేజెస్లో విత్తనాలను ప్రిజర్వ్ చేయడానికి they want to keep it at a certain temperature, so we need cold storage facilities. For farmers, lines for cross country natural gas and crude oil, like entire country the pipeline is going, like generally the companies like Reliance alanti companies, they get into these businesses, they are encouraging them. And hotels of 2-star, remember this 2-star hotels kuda they are see, because we want to encourage more of tourists from other countries, so we want to have a certain level, certain standard of hotels, tourism, హాస్పిటాలిటీని ఇంకా బెటర్గా చేయడానికి 2-star హోటల్స్ కూడా ఇచ్చేసాడు. ఓకే, అండ్ 100 బెడ్స్ ఉన్న బెడ్స్ ఉన్న హాస్పిటల్స్ ఫర్ పేషెంట్స్. అండ్ స్లమ్ రీడెవలప్మెంట్ ఆర్ రీహాబిలిటేషన్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ స్లమ్స్, మనకు ముంబైలో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుందాం. స్లమ్స్ మనకు మన ఇండియాని అంత మంచిగా ప్రొజెక్ట్ చేయట్లేదు బయట వాళ్ళకి, దాన్ని రీహాబిలిటేషన్ చేసి దాన్ని కొంచెం ముందు తీసుకెళ్ళేటట్టుగా పెట్టుకుంటే. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ అఫోర్డబుల్ హౌసింగ్ ఫ్రేమ్డ్. అఫోర్డబుల్ హౌసింగ్ అంటే మనకు డబుల్ బెడ్రూమ్లు ఇల్లు ఇప్పుడు వస్తున్నాయి కదా, అట్లా లైక్ అఫోర్డబుల్ హౌసింగ్స్ వాటి కోసం అట్లా గవర్నమెంట్ ఫిక్స్ చేసిన ఎలాగైనా మీరు ముందుకు వచ్చి చేస్తే దాన్ని కూడా ఇందులో ఇచ్చేసారు. ఫెర్టిలైజర్స్, మనకు విత్తనాలు చాలా అవసరం ఉన్నాయి. అండ్ ఇన్లాండ్ కంటైనర్ డిపోర్ట్స్ అండ్ కంటైనర్ ఫ్రైట్ స్టేషన్స్ ఫర్ కస్టమ్స్, లైక్ ఇంపోర్ట్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేసేవాడు యూ నీడ్ దిస్ ఇన్లాండ్ కంటైనర్ డిపోర్ట్స్ అండ్ కంటైనర్ ఫ్రైట్ స్టేషన్స్. ఎందుకంటే లైక్ ఒక కంట్రీ నుంచి ఒక కంట్రీకి వస్తేప్పుడు యూ నీడ్ సర్టెన్ కస్టమ్స్ క్లియరెన్సెస్, అవన్నిటిని ఇట్ కెనాట్ బి లైక్ ఆన్ ఎ రోడ్ నుంచైనా వీ నీడ్ ఎ ప్రాపర్ క్లియరెన్స్ అండ్ సమ్ ప్రాపర్ సిస్టమ్స్, ఇంపోర్ట్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్, లోడింగ్ అన్లోడింగ్ అవన్నీ జరగడానికి. ఓకే, అండ్ బీ కీపింగ్ అండ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ ఆఫ్ హనీ అండ్ బీ వ్యాక్స్, సెట్టింగ్ అప్ అండ్ ఆపరేటింగ్ స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ షుగర్. సో గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఇది ఎగ్జామ్లో కొంచెం ఇంపార్టెంట్. స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ షుగర్కి కూడా మనకి ఇది స్పెసిఫైడ్ బిజినెస్లో పెట్టేశాడు. స్లర్రీ పైప్ లైన్ ఫర్ ఐరన్ ఓర్. యూట్యూబ్లో కొట్టి చూడండి, జస్ట్ లైక్ యువర్ న్యాచురల్ రిసోర్సెస్ని లైక్ ఇట్ ఈస్ మూవింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ లొకేషన్ టు అనదర్ లొకేషన్, లైక్ ఒక పెద్ద పైప్ లైన్గా ఉంటుంది, ఇట్ గోస్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ ప్లేస్ టు అనదర్ ప్లేస్. సో దట్ ఈస్ లైక్ అ స్లర్రీ పైప్ లైన్ ఫర్ మూవింగ్ యువర్ రిసోర్సెస్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ ప్లేస్ టు అనదర్ ప్లేస్. అండ్ సెమీకండక్టర్ వైఫర్ ఫ్యాబ్రికేషన్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ యూనిట్, మనకు మదర్ బోర్డ్స్లలో, మన కంప్యూటర్స్లలో, మొబైల్స్లలో యూ నీడ్ దిస్ సెమీకండక్టర్ వేఫర్ ఫ్యాబ్రికేషన్. మనం ఎట్ ద మూమెంట్ వీఆర్ రిలయింగ్ ఆన్ అదర్ కంట్రీస్ టు మేక్ ఇండియా సెల్ఫ్ డిపెండెంట్. మన వాళ్ళు మనకే పుష్ చేస్తున్నారు. యూ కెన్ బి ఏ స్పెసిఫైడ్ బిజినెస్ ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ గెటింగ్ ఇన్ టు దిస్. అండ్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ఫెసిలిటీస్, డెవలప్మెంట్ అండ్ మెయింటైనింగ్ ఆపరేటింగ్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ లైక్ రోడ్స్ కావచ్చు, అండర్ పాస్లు కావచ్చు, like that some infrastructure facilities. If you are if you are developing and maintaining and operating, you will also get into this. Okay, so the point here is that మనకి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ జనరల్గా యూజ్ అయ్యేది ఆ 2-star హోటల్స్, 100 బెడ్స్ ఉన్న పేషెంట్స్, స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ షుగరు అండ్ హనీ వ్యాక్సింగ్ దానికోసము, సెమీకండక్టర్ది, క్రాస్ కంట్రీ natural resources pipelines, slurry pipelines, కొన్ని cold storage, warehousing. These are all the important things that we require in the examination. So these are the specified business. The main point of specified business is that you will be able to debit the entire capital expenditure in a P&L except land and building. And one more thing, you can carry see, because you are debiting, see example Yashoda, Apollo ఇలాంటి హాస్పిటల్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఎనీ అదర్ హాస్పిటల్ లైక్ దట్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఉన్నాయి. వాళ్ళకు బిల్డింగ్ కట్టారంటే ఎన్ని వందల కోట్లు పెడతారు చెప్పండి. హౌ మచ్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్ దే పర్చేస్, హౌ మచ్ కాస్ట్ దే పుట్ ఇట్ ఫర్ బిల్డింగ్ అండ్ ఆల్. సో ఇఫ్ దే పుట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఇన్ టు దర్ P&L in the year itself, obviously the profits will go down. I mean, they will get into negative. So what the government is saying is, I understand you are getting into losses for book wise, it's okay, you can carry forward these losses for the infinite period. Till the time you exhaust this, you continue to carry forward. Okay, just like your unabsorbed depreciation, same thing for your specified business. You can carry forward this loss for the indefinite period. You can set it off against స్పెసిఫైడ్ బిజినెస్ ఓన్లీ. సార్ ఎందుకు సార్ ఓన్లీ స్పెసిఫైడ్ బిజినెస్కి అంటున్నారంటే, బాబు నేను నీకు 100% డెబిట్ చేసుకునే ఛాన్స్ ఇచ్చాను, దీన్ని తీసుకెళ్ళి నువ్వు ఇంకేదో మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరర్ ప్రాఫిట్ తోటి సెట్ ఆఫ్ చేయకు, ఈ సపరేట్ కేటగిరీ ఇచ్చాను కదా. దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ వై ఐఎమ్ కీపింగ్ ఇట్ ఎస్ అ సెపరేట్ కేటగిరీ. ఐఎమ్ కీపింగ్ దిస్ ఎస్ అ సెపరేట్ కేటగిరీ బికాస్ ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ యూ సెపరేట్ బెనిఫిట్స్. క్యారీ ఫార్వర్డ్, దర్ ఇస్ నో expiration period. Like, it's not that you have to carry it forward only for 8 years, 4 years, nothing. You can carry forward for infinite period, but you set it up only against the specified businesses, right? Guys, there are 15-16 people are watching, but nobody is even at least telling whether you're understanding or not understanding. That is little disappointing for me also. Nothing goes, just saying that sir it's clear, it's not clear, you explain this, it's just telling me that okay, I can go further. Okay, 100% capital expenditure is allowed, as I said, and land, goodwill, financial instruments will not be eligible. So land, goodwill, financial assets, these are all not eligible for expenditure. So what is financial instrument? Don't get into it so much unless you are a CA final student. We have a separate standard which says when you call something as a financial instrument and everything. Other than that, it's just like just a normal thing you ignore. Okay, so land is not eligible for to debit your P&L, and goodwill also not eligible. First of all, goodwill is not eligible for your depreciation also from now. Financial instrument is also not eligible. Okay, so thank you guys, whoever is responded, that gives me an encouragement, right? So let's do it. And cash payment 10,000 applies here also. So the 10,000, so if you are making a payment in excess of 10,000, otherwise then by account pay, check drawn on a bank or demand draft, these things you understood, no? Any other specified mode like UPI, RTGS, IMPS, Aadhaar pay, whatever the pay, that is there for your capital expenditure. 43(1) may cost of acquisition, whenever you are acquiring any asset, it is there, no? Same thing is there here also. Be you are in a specified business, specified business lo unnapatiki kuda, if you are purchasing something, make sure that if you are paying anything more than 10,000, you make payment through those means that I said, like account pay, check drawn on a specified person, or your debit card, credit card, UPI, demand draft, all do only with that. Okay, so expenditure prior to commencement of operation. It so happens that if I want to start a hospital business, it will take 4-5 years for me to construct the building, right? I might be incurring lot of cost. So when should I debit it? You can accumulate all the expenditure till the time you start your commercial production, commercial operations, and the moment you start it, you debit there. Okay, you accumulate you debit in your P&L, you debit in your books of accounts also, you capitalize in your books of accounts also, you debit as per income tax also, if you have incurred prior to the starting the business. Okay, so thank you, Harish. So there are few conditions, guys. Just because government is pushing you, saying that you will be getting more benefits if you start this business, don't do hangama, kind of get one asset from your friend, some other asset from someone else, someone else, and don't do the reorganization just to get this benefit. It should not be a split up of existing business, it should be a new business. Okay, if you're starting a hotel, you start it fresh. If you're starting a hospital with 100 beds per patients, you do it now. It doesn't mean that you bring one what do you call it, bed from somewhere else and you arrange it, not like that. Okay, so up to 20% it's okay, which means that if I'm incurring 100 crores for the acquisition of assets, out of which 20 crores can be for the restructuring of the existing business, but majority chunk will be for the new acquisitions. Okay, so these dates are not important, so don't get into it. Set off and carry forward, I told this logic also. You can carry forward this loss. Obviously you will be getting loss because you are debiting your P&L like anything, all capital. See, in balance sheet there is nothing left, only as per income tax, nothing except to land, building, goodwill, financial instrument, everything is coming here only, right? So because you get a loss, you can carry forward for indefinite period of time. You can set it off with any other eligible business. Okay, so when eligible ka matlab, it might not be getting 35AD benefit, but there is one example I'll tell you anyway. If you have an existing, if you are having an existing hotel from last 20 years, okay, and which is of a assuming 2-star and 2-star only, so that is eligible for section 35AD, but I'm not claiming it. Still I can use that to set off my other losses. Put it other way, I'm having a hotel in Hyderabad. I'm having a hotel in Hyderabad from last 20 years, assuming. Okay, I'm getting good profits. I'm starting a new hotel in Chennai with a 2 stars. There I'm getting a loss. Can I set it up these two? The answer is yes. What the section is saying is, if my Hyderabad hotel, if I'm starting it today, it would have been eligible, right? Yes, it is eligible. Might not be, I might not be getting 35AD benefit, but it is still eligible, right? So this I can use it to set off my other losses. Okay, with the example I'll tell you, in case if you get stuck. Yeah, so I'm starting this question, and these questions are important for 5 marks. Just before that, let me know if anybody is having any question with respect to section 35AD. This question is 5 marks. This is a previous year's examination question only. Numbers will be changed. This kind of a question you will get it in 5, 6, could be 8 also sometimes, maybe 4 also, depending upon the such circumstances. But if anybody of you is having any question with respect to specified business, please let me know. I'll take a break to have some water. So whoever is saying it's clear, I'm happy, but it's a challenge for you guys. Okay, this question I will read, I'll explain also. I'll just take a minute and we'll see how many of you can solve it. Don't look into the answer, because that is what we are challenging, right? We are telling the people, that we are telling the institute that we are good enough for the examination. Let's see how far we are good. Mr. A commenced operations of the business of setting up a warehouse facility for storage of food grains. First thing you have to ask yourself, not to me, ask yourself, is storage of food grains eligible for section 35AD? Don't tell me, need not mention there also, but think yourself, is it eligible or not? You keep thinking. Sugar, I said it is eligible, so sugar I gave you the answer. Yeah, 12 hour chapta. Okay, so sugar is eligible for specified business like 35AD. Storage of food grains, you ask yourself, and edible oil, you ask yourself. I will not be giving the answer. On this date, he incurred capital expenditure of 80 lakh, 60 lakh, 50 lakh respectively. All capital expenditure, I told capital expenditure also eligible on purchase of land and building during the period of this date exclusively for the above business, and capitalize the same in the books of accounts on this date. The cost of the land which is not eligible, 50 lakh, 40 lakh, 30 lakh. So, 3 businesses, 1, 2, 3, they spend 60, they spend 50 here, they spend 80, 60, 50. 80, 60, 50. Of that, building land is, so building is eligible. Land 50, 40, 30. This is not eligible, so I'll deduct this. Respectively, during the year, he incurred capital expenditure of 20, 15, 10. 20, 15, 10. Respectively for extension of reconstruction of the building purchased and used exclusively for the above businesses. See, this is specified business 35 AD. Scientific is a different section that is not coming. We are not yet started that. So that is, this concept is not there. So there you cannot do that. The profits from the business of the setting up a warehousing facility of storage of food grains, sugars and edible oil is before 35 AD and 32. For the assessment year 23-24 is 16, 14, 31. So profit is 16, 14, 31 before 35 AD and 32. Compute the income under the head PGBP and loss to be carried forward. Okay, assuming all the conditions are satisfied. I'll just wait for a minute. Okay, so this is a challenge, guys. See, if you are just trying to get the answer, I'm telling you it's there in the institute material only. But rather you check yourself. Is the first one eligible? First one is storage of food grains. Second, storage of sugar, eligible or not? Ask yourself. Third one is storage of edible oils. Is it eligible or not? Ask yourself. Assuming that whatever is eligible, I'm not giving you the answer. Whatever is eligible, they have incurred capital expenditure of 80 and cost. So if it is not eligible for section 35 AD, at least it is eligible for section 32 depreciation, right? Depreciation if it is not, and then from profit say you deduct that 35 or 32 and you tell me what is the loss. This is a 5-mark question. I'll wait for a minute. It's just like a challenge, guys. Whoever is there, I know there are 16 people and I'm sure at least 10 students would have been very serious in this. You need not tell me whether you are serious or not. Just try this and tell me for 1 what is the profit or loss. 1 बोले तो storage of food grains. 2 storage of sugar, what is the profit or loss ultimately. 3 storage of edible, profit or loss ultimately. The race is not to get the answer. The race is to test our theoretical knowledge in the numerical application. If you can master that, no, DT mein you will get exemption. Okay, it's not very difficult also. At least 10 people I'm sure would have been would be very serious. So we'll see how many of you can give the answer for this. గైస్ క్వశ్చన్ అయితే అర్థమైందని అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఎవరైనా తెలుగులో కావాలనుకుంటే 3 బిజినెస్లు ఉన్నాయి. ఒకటేమో బిజినెస్ ఆఫ్ స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఫుడ్ గ్రెయిన్స్ ఎలిజిబుల్ ఫర్ 35 AD, ఆన్సర్ చెప్పేస్తున్నాను. రెండోది స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ షుగర్ ఎలిజిబుల్. మూడోది స్టోరేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఎడిబుల్ ఆయిల్ నాట్ ఎలిజిబుల్. సో ఈ రెండుకి ఫస్ట్ రెండుకి 35 AD అప్లై చేయండి. మూడో దానికి ఓన్లీ 32 అప్లై చేయండి. డెప్రిసియేషన్ అప్లై చేయండి, నథింగ్ ఎల్స్. అండ్ టెల్ మీ వాట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాఫిట్ ఆర్ లాస్. Take it like a challenge. Okay, don't think that I'm giving you a homework in the classroom only. Okay, until we apply, we don't know what we don't know. Harish, I hope I given you the answer. Scientific business, unscientific business, that cross uh, set off is not possible. Correct. Sai, your answer is right. What I'm expecting now is this is food grains, this is sugar, this is oil. So this is not eligible. So only 32 you will apply. These two are eligible. 35 you apply. You just tell me plus or minus what is the ultimate answer. I'll be happy if at least one person can give the proper answer. Then I feel that okay, my lecture is useful to at least one person. Correct. Jacob, your answer is right, but I'm expecting the ultimate answer. Now we go one step ahead of it. I hope the numbers are visible. I'll just move away if I'm coming in between that. See, few answers from your end will drag this session further. Okay, we'll try to complete the chapter. Okay, I'll be giving the answer. We have spent good time on it. So edible oil is not eligible for this. So whatever is not eligible, you only claim the depreciation. So 31 is their profit, and depreciation 50 lakhs is a originally they have spent. 30 lakhs is a land. On land you will not find the depreciation. 10 lakhs is what they purchased in between the year. So only 3 lakhs, like 10% building bole to. So 28 lakhs is a profit for the non-specified business. For specified business you do it separately. 16-14 is their profit. Capital expenditure mein 80 they have incurred. 50 is a building. So building ka land, you remove the land. So this is a 35. And so this is 30. This is 20. During the period they have incurred 20, so this is becoming 30. 16 minus 50, 34 is a loss. 14 minus 35, we are getting 21 as a loss. So these two can club together because both are specified. So you can say 55 they are having a loss in the non-specified business, and they are having a profit in the loss in the specified business and having a profit in the specified business. They cannot set it off because this has to be set up only with the specified business. So I'm not going to ask more questions because I'm getting very least response. Maybe it's just sleeping time. So we'll go next. So there is one clarification is given. See, hotels may we said it, no, it's not necessary that you only has to operate the hotel. Sometimes your operations you can outsource to someone else. I don't want to take care of everything, what food is coming, when you are getting the vegetables, who is cutting, who is not cutting. I don't want to get involved into that. I can outsource it to someone else. Just like how I outsource my accounting services or taxation service or some other, we outsource, right, for companies. Same way, business operations also I can outsource, and still I can say this is my my business, and still I can claim as a specified business. So that's the clarification given. Next, contribution to rural development. This is like 100% is allowed. Capital expenditure is 100% allowed. Revenue also 100% allowed. So this is like rural development fund and notified national urban poverty eradication fund. So this is like to develop rural areas. You are coming up with this different funds, so they are eligible for this. And section 35 CCC, deductions in respect of expenditure incurred on notified agricultural extension projects. So this is for the company. Companies like they want to train the farmers as to which fertile to use and how, maybe agricultural techniques or any other technique, you are making the farmer skillful, providing some training, some education, it's okay. So that is fine, you can claim that. I mean, like 100% is allowed for that also. Other conditions are there which is not very important for us. And section CCD, deductions in respect of expenditure incurred by companies on notified skill development project. This is also CBDT will notify the what skill developments you need to do it. And amortization of preliminary expenditure, we have been hearing this in our CPT, CA foundation, CMA foundation. No, before the company starts something, you are incurring some preliminary expenditure, you can amortize it over a period of 5 years. In the year in which you incur 1/5, remaining 4 parts, like I am incurring 5 lakh rupees now. First year mein 5 lakh divided by 5, 1 lakh, remaining 4 lakh for the next 4 years. Okay, so it need not be for the new business only, it can be for the existing business also. Example, we are manufacturing some product and we are trying to experiment with the same manufacturing in another location, or we want to come up with a new variety product. So we are doing some research for that, we are incurring some preliminary expenditure for that, for project, anything. Okay, so for that is also eligible. If it is relating to existing business and if you incur, you are eligible. If it is relating to existing business and if that project fails also, if it is relating to existing business, you can still debit your P&L. If it is like I am into accounting services, if I am coming up with another plan of manufacturing something which is not relating to my accounting services, no, so if I fail in that product, I cannot debit that expenditure in my P&L. Simple గా చెప్పాలంటే మీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ బిజినెస్కి రిలేటెడ్ బిజినెస్ అయితే యూ కెన్ డెబిట్ యువర్ P&L. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ న్యూ టు కొత్త దానికి అయ్యి ఫెయిల్ అయ్యింది అనుకుంటే, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ రిలేటింగ్ టు యువర్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ బిజినెస్ బట్ ద ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ హ్యాస్ ఫెయిల్డ్, అంటే అది ఒక ఫీజిబిలిటీ రిపోర్టే సక్సెస్ కాలేదు అనుకుందాం, I cannot debit my P&L because there are so many case studies on this like this. So what all will come, it will be only for Indian companies, and this I explained, it will be given for next 5 years. Preparation of feasible report, preparation of project report, market survey, engineering, legal relating to preparation of MOA, AOA, ఇంకా ఇవన్నీ మీకు తెలిసినాయి కదా. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ ప్రిలిమినరీ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్, యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ దమ్. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎంతవరకు చేయొచ్చు అంటే, ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాన్ కార్పొరేట్ అసెస్మెంట్, నాన్ కార్పొరేట్ అంటే కంపెనీ కాకుండా ఇంకా వేరేది అనుకుందాం, 5% ఆఫ్ ద కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇండివిజువల్ ఉన్నాను, ఒక ఫామ్ ఉంది, మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ అందరిది కలిసి, సో మేము ఒక బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలనుకుంటామంటే హౌ మచ్ ఎవర్ యూఆర్ స్పెండింగ్ ఆన్ దట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్, యువర్ ఫిక్స్డ్ క్యాపిటల్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్, అందులో 5% దట్ ఈస్ అ మ్యాక్సిమం లెవెల్. ఆన్ టాప్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ ఇంకరింగ్ ఎనీథింగ్, యూ ఇగ్నోర్ ఇట్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్, వీఆర్ స్టార్టింగ్ ఏ ప్రాజెక్ట్ విత్ 100 crores, ఇందులో నేను 5% అంటే my preliminary expenditure should be maximum 5 crores. Assuming I am incurring 5.5 crores now, so only 5 crores I will be eligible for next 5 years, like first 1 year, next 4 years. 5 crores I can debit my P&L over a period of 5 years. Remaining 50 lakhs I have to ignore. Okay. So in case of a Indian company, cost of project or cost of capital employed, whichever is higher you can take it. Cost of capital employed అంటే నీ షేర్ క్యాపిటల్, లాంగ్ టర్మ్ లైబిలిటీస్, రిజర్వ్స్, ఇవన్నీ తీసుకోవచ్చు. అమాల్గమేషన్, డీమర్జర్లో కూడా సేమ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఉంటుంది. వెన్ 2 companies కమింగ్ టుగెదర్, ఆబ్వియస్లీ దేర్ హ్యాస్ టు బి లాట్ ఆఫ్ లీగల్ కాస్ట్, నేమ్ చేంజ్ కాస్ట్, వెబ్సైట్ చేంజ్, డేటా మైగ్రేషన్, చాలా కాస్ట్లు ఉంటాయి. సో generally the cost will be incurred by the amalgamating company because they can claim it for the period of 5 years. If the amalgamating company, sorry, I said it reverse, A company is getting absorbed by B company, so this company has to incur, ideally if they are incurring, they are eligible for the total expenditure over a period of 5 years, just like your preliminary expenditure. If it is incurred by A Limited, they'll claim only once. After that, the company itself is not there, right? So they are losing the opportunity. So generally the new company will be incurring the expenditure so that they can claim it for the next 5 years. Amortization of expenditure incurred under the voluntary retirement scheme, ఇది కూడా సేమ్ కాన్సెప్ట్. 35D, 35DD, 35DDA అన్నీ 5 years amortization కాన్సెప్ట్ వస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ కూడా if an employee is leaving and we are paying some 10 lakh rupees to him, so again instead of debiting everything into single year, you debit it for next to 5 years like that. It's again on a payment basis. Next year again if I am paying something, that expenditure plus for next 5 years. Okay, so it is calculate separately for each payment. So that is your section 35. Now come to section 36. ఇంకంతకన్నా ఎక్కువ చెప్పడానికి 35లో ఏం లేదు. ఇంతకుముందు మనకు 125%, 150%, 175% ఇలా ఉండేది. ఇప్పుడు అవన్నీ పోయి అన్నీ 100% అయిపోయింది. సో దెర్ ఇస్ నో నీడ్ ఫర్ అస్ టు కైండ్ ఆఫ్ go and remember all those things. Section 36 is like all the expenditure that you can claim it. If you're taking any insurance on your stocks and stores, you will take it, right? You have to take insurance for these items also. You can claim as I said starting section 30, insurance on your building. Insurance on your building is 30 kada, atlage insurance on your stock you can claim it here. Again insurance you are taking on your cattle, అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకు పౌల్ట్రీ కానీ లేకుంటే ఈ మిల్క్ సంబంధించిన ఫెడరల్ మిల్క్ సొసైటీస్, అమూల్ మిల్క్, వీళ్ళందరికీ దే విల్ టేక్ ద ఇన్సూరెన్స్ ఆన్ దర్ క్యాటిల్. వాళ్ళ జంతువుల పైన తీసుకుంటారు కదా, అవి కూడా యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ యువర్ P&L. ఓకే, అండ్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ పైన కూడా whenever you're taking any health insurance on your employees, you can claim it in your P&L. సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలంటే ఈ 3 సెక్షన్లలో ఒకసారి గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. ఫస్ట్ మీ కంపెనీలో ఉన్న స్టాక్ పైన ఇన్సూరెన్స్ తీసుకుంటే యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ ఇట్. అట్లాగే మీ దగ్గర ఉన్న జంతువుల పైన తీసుకుంటే యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ ఇట్. అండ్ దెన్ మీ ఎంప్లాయీస్ కూడా జంతువులతో సమానం అన్నట్టు, జస్ట్ ఫర్ జోక్. సో వాళ్ళపైన కూడా ఇన్సూరెన్స్ తీసుకుంటే స్టిల్ యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ యువర్ P&L. అండ్ బోనస్ అండ్ కమిషన్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ పే టు యువర్ ఎంప్లాయీస్, నాట్ ఓనర్కి ఇచ్చేదని కాదు, వాళ్ళకి బోనస్ అండ్ కమిషన్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ పే టు దెమ్, దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ ఇట్. ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఆన్ బారోడ్ క్యాపిటల్, జస్ట్ లైక్ యువర్ AS 16 borrowing capital and Ind AS 23. Okay, so if I am purchasing an asset today, but that asset will take next 6 months to get ready for its intended use, ఆ 6 monthsలో సంబంధించిన ఇంట్రెస్ట్ మొత్తం I have to add it to the cost of the asset only. So if it is a qualifying asset, whatever the interest I pay to the bank till the time asset gets ready for its intended use, I can capitalize it. అది మనకు AS 16 చెప్పాను, సేమ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఇక్కడ కూడా ఉంటుంది. Ind ASలో కూడా సేమ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఉంటుంది. అది ఇక్కడ మీరు ఏం చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నారంటే, వన్స్ ద అసెట్ ఇస్ రెడీ ఫర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ దట్ యూ పే టు ద బ్యాంక్, పోస్ట్ ఇట్స్ రెడీ ఫర్ ఇట్స్ ఇంటెండెడ్ యూస్, యూ విల్ డెబిట్ యువర్ P&L. టిల్ ద టైమ్ ఇట్ ఇస్ గెటింగ్ రెడీ ఫర్ ఇట్స్ ఇంటెండెడ్ యూస్, యూ టు క్యాపిటలైజ్, యూ కెనాట్ డెబిట్ యువర్ P&L. బాండ్స్ కూడా డీప్ డిస్కౌంట్ బాండ్స్ అనే బాండ్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో వాట్ యూ మీన్ బై దట్, I will be issuing a bond at 70 rupees. I will be redeeming it at 100 rupees after 10 years. So 30 rupees I am spending it as a expenditure, but the next 10 years ke liye. So 30 divided by 10, that will be the expenditure I can debit my P&L on a yearly basis. Okay, so Jacob, thank you. So any questions guys so far? I am going fast because I told that we'll try to cover the chapter. Okay, I don't want to come back to this chapter again. Have some patience, have some courage, energy in you that we will complete. Just let me know that how many of you are like regularly, eagerly waiting to complete the entire chapter. Okay, at least 4-5 people can say that. Can at least 4 people say yes, yes sir, we want the entire chapter today only. Give me some boost. Guys, I am ready to take the session. If you are not ready to listen, I'm sorry, but PDF I will give you once we are done with our all chapters. So nato jagaram chesedi evaru? Kiran is the one who wants to stay. One person, only one. I said at least 4-5 people. Who is having that killer attitude that I want to complete it today only. Let's do it. Tomorrow when we start, we'll start the entire capital gain. We don't want it to 2 days. See, even though I'm going fast, but I'm not skipping any point, guys. I'm trying to make sure that every point has been discussed. Okay, so Jacob, thank you. Harish, okay, we'll do it. Krishna Pavan. See, May లో మనం ఎగ్జామ్ రాస్తాం. Now it is March, అంటే 10 days ఉంది. April 30. ఇప్పుడు if not today, if not now, if you realize the importance of time just 10 days before the exam, it's very difficult or very late to too late to come up. Now it's like it's a 40 days time, right? You can try it from now. Yes, Raj. Okay, so now contribution to provident fund and other fund, like companies keep paying, they keep contributing on behalf of their employees, like PF example, like whatever, if you are actually paying them in cash, no, that's fine, you can debit your P, it has to be paid. Okay, pension fund also same logic, but they make sure that it is not more than 10% of the employees in the previous year. So this is important, guys. We will solve a question on this. We have a question and we'll solve it. Okay, I'll read it also for once. Whenever employer is paying for the pension of the employees, it is allowed, correct? But the thing is, it should not exceed 10% of salary. What do you mean by salary? Salary bole to basic plus DA if it is provided in the employment. Okay, so over and above whatever you contribute, that is disallowed. This section, as per section 40 and 9, it is disallowed. But for time being, we'll try to understand what is allowed. Here we have a question, we will solve it. Okay, Excel Limited contributes 20% of basic salary to the account of the employees under a pension scheme referred to in section 80 CCD. That's fine. Dearance allowances is 40% of the basic salary. Okay, and it forms part of the employees. Fine. Compute the amount of deduction allowable under section 436(1)(4)(a) if the basic salary of the employees aggregate is 10 lakh. Assuming that everybody is put together, the basic salary is 10 lakh. Okay, so what the company is doing? Company is saying our basic salary is 10 lakh. See, I'm not writing properly. I'm not focusing on writing it well. My focus is just on the concept. And then DA is 40% of basic. So DA is 40 plus 4 lakh, 40% of 10 lakh. So 14 lakh is the basic plus DA. And what they are doing is 20% of the basic salary to the account of the employees. 20%. So company, what they are doing is, this is important for you guys. I'm expecting question on this. I mean, only not 1 point, like there will be a lot of points, but this can be 1 point. They are contributing 20% of basic. Basic is only 10 lakh. So they are contributing 2 lakh rupees. This is what they are doing. But what they should have done? What they should have done is, they should have contributed 10% of basic pay plus DA. What is your basic pay? Basic pay is 10 lakh. DA is 4 lakh. Total 14 lakh. Multiplied by 10%. So they should have contributed 1,40,000 only, but they are contributing 2 lakh, right? So only 1,40,000 is allowable under section 36(1)(4)(a). 36 is fine, till 36 if you remember, that's fine. Okay, so remaining 60,000, that is disallowed under section 40(a)(9). This is disallowed. So this kind of a question you can expect in the examination, guys. I hope it is clear. It appears to be small only, but this kind of a question you can expect in the examination. Allowances for animals. For animals also, like I said, like we can take an insurance on the animals. If they, generally we don't claim depreciation on the animals. Okay, if they die, they might sell it for carcass, you call it, no, carcass, or for skin, something like that. They'll sell it, no, they'll get a very least amount. So whatever the difference between the original price and the amount that they are able to realize from the scrap, difference amount you can debit on your P&L. Difference amount you can debit. Okay, it's not just when it died, when it is permanently become useless. I mean, like if it is a milk industry, you know, if the If the animal is not suitable for that, they become useless for that purpose. We should not use the word useless also. Okay, useless also. So original price that you can debit UP and so bad debts, this is kind of an important section, guys. Pay some attention here. Generally, provision for bad debts is not allowed. Any provision you cannot debit your P&L, but there are some exceptions for some industries. Okay, especially for banking, NBFCs and all. For coming to now, for you to claim the bad debt, you have to write it off. One thing. Second thing, you should have taken that income in the previous year or current year in your P&L. Okay, meaning is, we talk it in accounting sense. In P&L, you are trying to say this is my bad debts, this is my bad debt. That is okay, but for that, this bad debt is relating to some revenue, right? That revenue you should have taken in the current year or any previous year. Then only you can debit this P&L. Okay, you need not establish to the assessing officer that that person is really bad, is not paying you. You need not establish that. It's fine. Once you write off your P&L, you debit your P&L, that is fine. You can claim it. You need not establish it. Just writing it off is sufficient. And this is important. I don't think at an inter level they might be asking this, but still I would go ahead and say, just for understanding purpose. As per Ind AS, as per ICDS, we book the revenue in a different way. Okay, as per accounting it is different, as per taxation it is different. So it is just like performance obligation. Once certain thing is performed, completed, you will book the revenue. Put it in a very layman language, the way you account the revenue is different in the ICDS framework. Okay, in your actual books of accounts, you might not be recognizing it, but for taxation purpose, you might have recognized it. Now, how can you write it off when it is not even created in your books of accounts? Simply, one condition I told, to write off as a bad debt in the current year, you should have taken that in your P&L some time, right? But as per ICDS, I have already taken it for my tax calculation purpose, but as per my books of accounts, I have not taken it. So what is the purpose? What is the point here? For those cases, even if you're not taken into your P&L earlier, you need not write it off. That's fine. It's understandable. Okay. It's especially important at a final level. And recovery of bad debt subsequently. So assuming there's one question, anyway, I'll tell you. So there is a sale of 75,000. Please pay attention, guys. There is a sale of 75,000 and there is a bad debt of 40,000. Okay, there is a bad debt of 40,000. This is allowed by the income tax, but subsequently I have recorded 45,000. Now what I should do it? Now I think like this. In the current year, I mean, last year we sold goods worth of 75,000. That has come into my P&L credit side. Means I paid the tax on that to the government. Fine. Current year I am having a bad debt of entire thing, but income tax allowed only 40,000 because of some calculation, assuming. Okay, so 40,000 is written off, but subsequently I received 44,000. So you see the difference between your original sale, original debt 75,000, and what is the amount that you recovered now? You recovered only 44,000. Okay, so 75,000 minus 44,000, so 31,000 should have been the bad debt, but in your P&L you have already debited your P&L with a 40,000. See, it is like you sold. I'll give you a timeline, guys. You try to understand. P&L, this is credit, this is debit. First year I credited with 75,000, means I paid the tax to the government. Fine. Next year I debited 40,000, saying it's a bad debt. means I save tax on 40,000, which means that ultimately 35,000 is only what I offer to the government. But the thing is that now the guy is coming and giving me 44,000. So 35 is the amount I offer to the government, but now that guy is giving me 44,000. So the remaining 9,000, or difference between these two also 9,000, I should offer to government now. Put it in another way, if anybody has not understood. You have incurred a bad debt. I mean, you are writing it off from your P&L. You're writing off in your books of accounts. You are allowed to debit your P&L. That's fine. Subsequently, I'm realizing the money from the same party. Now, how should I account it? Think like this. What was my original sale? My original sale was 75,000. This guy paid 44,000 only. Okay. So 31,000 should have been my bad debt. Only that much I should have debited my P&L. But I debited 40,000, right? So 9,000 extra I debited, which I had to spit it out. Okay. I had to offer it for the to the government as a income. So this is 9,000 is my income. Is this point clear, guys? This bad debt is recovered subsequently. You can expect at least 1 to 2 marks out of your total assessment chapter. There could be a case of like you sold this much is allowed as a bad debt, subsequently recovered this much. You are like really confused there. I want you to ask me questions if you have any, or let me know if it is clear with you. So thank you, Kiran. గైస్ ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్, ఏదైనా క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటే అడగండి. ఇక్కడ బ్యాడ్ డెట్స్ ఇంకర్ అయిన తర్వాత సబ్సిక్వెంట్లీ మేము రికవర్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. రికవర్ చేసినప్పుడు అది రికవర్ ఎక్కువ అయి ఉండొచ్చు, తక్కువ అయి ఉండొచ్చు. ఆ ఎక్కువ తక్కువని ఎలా చూడాలి, దాన్ని మళ్ళీ మనం P&Lలో మళ్ళీ డెబిట్ ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చా, క్రెడిట్ కూడా ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం వస్తుందొచ్చా అనేది ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఎవరికైనా ఈ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎక్కడైనా డౌట్ ఉందంటే లెట్ మీ నో. ఐ విల్ వెయిట్ ఫర్ ఎ మినిట్. ఇట్స్ ఓకే, బట్ ఇట్స్ వర్త్. ఓకే, మనం క్యాలెండర్ ఇయర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుందాం. జస్ట్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 20 sold goods for 75,000. క్లియర్? అంటే నా P&Lలో సేల్స్ అని చెప్పి 75,000 రాశాను. అంటే గవర్నమెంట్కి నేను ట్యాక్స్ కట్టేశాను. క్రెడిట్ పడ్డదంటే కట్టేసినట్టే కదా, ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ లేదనుకో ప్రస్తుతానికి. ఓకే, 2022లో అనిపించింది వీడు నాకు డబ్బులు ఇవ్వడేమో అని చెప్పి, కానీ ఇన్కమ్ ట్యాక్స్ వాడు ఏమంటానంటే ఐ విల్ నాట్ లెట్ యూ టు డెబిట్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, యూ రైట్ ఆఫ్ సంథింగ్ ఓన్లీ 40,000. సో బ్యాడ్ డెట్ దిస్ మై ఎగ్గొట్టొచ్చు, 40,000 ఎగ్గొట్టొచ్చేమో నాకు డౌట్ వచ్చింది. సో బ్యాడ్ డెట్ 40,000 and write off in the books of accounts. That's what the standard is saying, section is saying. If you write it off in your books of accounts, that's fine. So 40,000 నేను డెబిట్ చేశాను. అంటే నేను P&L ఎక్కడ చూపించుకోవచ్చు దీన్ని? 40,000 ఎక్స్పెండిచర్గా చూపించుకోవచ్చు. ఎక్స్పెండిచర్గా చూపించుకోవడం అంటే నేను కట్టాల్సిన ట్యాక్స్ని తగ్గించుకున్నట్టే కదా. అంటే అజ్యూమింగ్ అక్కడ ఆ ఇన్కమ్ ఆ ఇయర్లో ఇంకేదో వేరే ఇన్కమ్ కూడా ఉండొచ్చేమో, నా ట్యాక్స్ని తగ్గించుకున్నాను కదా. ఇప్పుడు 2023 సడన్గా వాడు వచ్చేది ఏమనంటే, సంపత్ నేను నీకు 44 నీకు 44,000 ఇస్తే అంతగా నీకు కొన్ని ఇవ్వడం నాకు కాదని అన్నాడు. సరే 44 ఇచ్చాడు. అంటే ఇప్పుడు P&Lలో నేను దీన్ని డెబిట్ చేయాలా క్రెడిట్ చేయాలా అనేది క్వశ్చన్. ఎట్లా ఆలోచించండి అంటే 2021, 22, 23 జస్ట్ ఫర్గెట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్, జస్ట్ థింక్ లైక్ దిస్. ఇట్స్ ఓన్లీ సింగిల్ ఇయర్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్. సింగిల్ ఇయర్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్లో నేను వాడికి అమ్మింది 75,000, వాడు నాకు ఇచ్చింది 44,000. అంటే వాడు నాకు ఎంత ముంచాడు? వాట్ ఈస్ ద లాస్ టు మీ? 75,000 సరుకు అమ్మాయిన వాడికి 44,000 ఇస్తున్నాడు వాడు. అంటే 31,000 నాకు లాస్ వీడికి అమ్మడం వల్ల, రైట్? కానీ నేను ఎంత డెబిట్ చేశాను? 40,000 డెబిట్ చేశాను లాస్ట్ ఇయర్. థింక్ అబౌట్ ఓన్లీ 1 year. 40,000 నేను డెబిట్ చేశాను. 40,000 చేయాల్సింది కాదు, ఐ షుడ్ హావ్ డెబిటెడ్ ఓన్లీ 31,000. అంటే 9,000 ఎక్కువ డెబిట్ చేశాను, అంటే ఎక్కువ బెనిఫిట్ పొందాను. గవర్నమెంట్ ఏమంటుంది, ఇప్పుడు కట్టు, ఓడంతా తీసుకోమన్నాడు, ఇప్పుడు కట్టు అని చెప్పి దే ఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్ అస్ టు పే ఇట్ నౌ. సో ఎక్సెస్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఐ క్లెయిమ్డ్ allowed 40,000, actual incurred 31,000. So 9,000 offer to government as a income. Enta 9,000. Okay. So now 75,000 plus 9,000 minus 40,000. Exactly 44,000. వాడు నాకు ఎంత ఇచ్చాడో అది నాకు వచ్చింది. Now anybody's any question with respect to this? Don't think we are complicating this. My only intention is to make sure that this concept is understood properly, nothing is missed out. Any question from anyone? We are losing the members. Okay. Yeah, so that is your bad debts recovered. Provision for bad and doubtful debts in cases of specified banks. So bank, like, they have given some privilege, like if it is a rural branch, you can create a provision up to 10% of your aggregate average advances. Other than that, you can create a provision. $31,000 మనకు ఇవ్వలేదు కదా. 31,000 ఇవ్వలేదు, కానీ నువ్వు 40 డెబిట్ చేస్తావు. 31,000 ఇవ్వట్లేదు అంటే 31,000 డెబిట్ చేయాల్సింది, కానీ 40 డెబిట్ చేస్తావు కదా. యువర్ పాయింట్ ఈజ్ రైట్. వాడు 31,000 ఇవ్వలేడు కాబట్టి 31,000 ఇస్ అ లాస్. అంటే నువ్వు P&L డెబిట్ చేయాల్సింది 31,000 డెబిట్ చేయాల్సింది, 40 చేసావు నువ్వు, 9,000 ఎక్స్ట్రా డెబిట్ చేసావు, అంటే ఎక్కువ లాభాన్ని పొందావు, దాన్ని రివర్స్ చేస్తున్నాడు. యా, generally provisions for depreciation, provision for maintenance, provision for repairs, nothing of provision sort is allowed in the Income Tax Act. But for specified business there is a allowability. Provision for bad debts you can create if it is a rural branch, 10%, because possibility there would be farmers and possibility there might be bad debts. Okay, but for others it is urban, 8.5%. Over and above that you cannot do that. If it is over and above that, you have to disallow it, 48.9. For non-scheduled bank it is 5%. For doubtful and lost assets, just the percentage is important guys. Example andakane ekku manaki netti pettakandi, not required. Foreign banks also 5%. Public financial institutions also 5%. NBFC is also 5%. Okay. Family planning, actually this is only applicable for company. If the company is incurring for capital expenditure for family planning of their employees కి ఫ్యామిలీ ప్లానింగ్ చేయించాలనే ఆలోచన కంపెనీకి వచ్చిందంటే గొప్పలు వాళ్ళు. సో revenue is anyway it's allowable. Capital expenditure it is allowable over a period of 5 years, but it's only for companies. Okay, just remember that. STT, like whoever is trading in securities, like be it broker, agent, share transfer agent, whatever you call it, STT is allowed for them. The same way CTT also, commodity transaction tax, is also allowed here. STT securities ki, commodity derivatives ki. Okay, so either way it is allowed because it's a part of your business kabatti. So this is not for inter level, and I know only few people are inter level now. This is not required. Mark to market. Now we come to section 37, that is your residual section. So whatever the expenditure that you are incurring for the purpose, exclusively for the purpose of the business, and which is not covered under section 30 to 36, general ga 30 నుంచి 37 వరకు నీకు ఎక్స్పెండిచర్,
30 నుంచి 36 వరకు స్పెసిఫికల్గా చెప్తాడు. 37 is your residual, whatever is not covered from 30 to 36 and which is for the purpose of a business and which is not a personal in nature and which is not a capital in nature and which is not prohibition of any law. ఇవన్నీ అయితే 37లో అలౌడ్. ఇట్స్ లైక్ కంపెనీస్ పనికి మాలిన ఖర్చు మొత్తం 37లోనే క్లెయిమ్ చేస్తాయి. ఓకే, సో యూ కెన్ క్లెయిమ్ ఇట్, బట్ it should not be personal, it should not be capital, it should not be already covered under section 30 to 36, it should not be against any law. Okay, expenditure on key man insurance allowed. You remember section 28 చెప్తప్పుడు if the key man insurance policy is maturing in the hands of the company, it is PGBP income అని. Same way company is paying for the premium of an employee who is a key man. So if they are paying premium for the employee key man insurance, that is allowed. Like means you can debit your P&L. సేమ్ వే ఈ ఫార్మాసిటికల్ కంపెనీ మనకు డోలా రకరకాల డోలా 650 ఏదైనా కరెక్ట్ గుర్తొస్తలే. సి దే వాంట్ టు ప్రమోట్ ద ప్రోడక్ట్ అని చెప్పడానికి క్లినిక్లలో హాస్పిటల్లో డాక్టర్లకి అందరికీ దే విల్ గివ్ ఏ కిక్ బ్యాక్స్ అంటే ఫ్రీబీస్ ఇస్తారు. కారు, బైక్, ఫోన్స్, యాప్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్, యాపిల్ ల్యాప్టాప్లు అన్నీ ఇచ్చేస్తారు. ఎందుకు? వాళ్ళకు వచ్చే పేషెంట్స్కి ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ని సజెస్ట్ చేయని చెప్పడానికి. అట్లా ఇస్తే దట్ ఈస్ అగేన్స్ట్ మన మెడికల్ కౌన్సిల్ నామ్స్ ప్రకారం అట్లా ఇవ్వకూడదు. నువ్వు తీసుకునే బుద్ధి నీకున్నా ఇచ్చే బుద్ధి నీకు ఉండకూడదు, అంటే కంపెనీకి ఉండకూడదు. ఇఫ్ ద కంపెనీ ఇస్ పేయింగ్ సంథింగ్ ఆఫ్ దట్ సార్ట్, ఇట్ ఈస్ డిసల్లౌడ్. ఇట్స్ అన్ అమెండ్మెంట్, యూ కెన్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ దిస్ ఇన్ యువర్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్. వాడు ఎంత కలర్ కోటియేషన్కి ఇచ్చినా కానీ యాజ్ అ సిఏ వన్స్ యూ బికమ్ చార్టెడ్ అకౌంటెంట్ మనకు కొంచెం ఎథిక్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఎథిక్స్ అంటే మన మాటలలో ఎథిక్స్ కాదు, ఎథిక్స్ ఒక సబ్జెక్టే ఉంటుంది. మనకు యాక్ట్లోనే మనకు ఉంటాయి షెడ్యూల్ లెక్క. అంటే యాజ్ అ సిఏ ఐ షుడ్ నాట్ బి డూయింగ్ దిస్, యాజ్ అ సిఏ ఐ షుడ్ నాట్ బి టేకింగ్ అమౌంట్ ఫ్రమ్ అనదర్ సిఏ టు షేర్ ద వర్క్. అట్లాంటి కొన్ని తప్పులు ఉన్నాయి, అవి చేయకూడదు. నేను ఐ షుడ్ డూ ఎనీథింగ్ బట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ దే సే ఐ షుడ్ నాట్ డూ ఇట్. డిసిప్లినరీ కమిటీ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. సేమ్ లాజిక్ ఇక్కడ కూడా మెడికల్ కౌన్సిల్కి కూడా వాళ్ళకు అట్లా మీరు కిక్ బ్యాక్స్ ఫ్రీబీస్ తీసుకోకూడదు. ఇన్ కేస్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ టేకింగ్ దట్, it is wrong as per your counsel and the one who is paying is also, it is disallowed for them. So it is inadmissible. CSR expenditure also, I am not going to tell you what is CSR expenditure. మన సొసైటీని కొంచెం మంచిగా చేయడానికి ఒకటి డబ్బులు కడుతుందంటే that is okay, you have to do it 2% of your average 3 years profits, but that's fine. But don't claim it under PGBP under section 37. ఎందుకంటే one side you are saying I am a socially responsible citizen, socially responsible company, other side you are taking the tax benefit. It is like a double standard, not required. It is disallowed here. పొలిటికల్ పార్టీకి నువ్వు ఏమైనా అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్, సోవనీర్ అలాంటివి ఇచ్చినంటే అది కూడా డిజallowed. ఏదైనా తప్పు చేసి నువ్వు ఫైన్ కడుతున్నావు అంటే డిజallowed. కాంట్రాక్ట్ బ్రీచ్ అయితే మనీ కడితే ఇట్స్ అలౌడ్. స్టాట్యుటరీ ప్రొవిజన్ని బ్రీచ్ అయి నువ్వు కడితే disallowed. Meaning ఏంటి సార్ అంటే ఐఎమ్ ఎంటరింగ్ ఇన్ టు అ కాంట్రాక్ట్ విత్ ఎ రా మెటీరియల్ సప్లయర్, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ సంథింగ్ ఐ స్టాప్ ద కాంట్రాక్ట్, ఐ క్యాన్సల్ ద కాంట్రాక్ట్, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు పే సమ్ 10,000 rupees as a penalty. It's a contravention of a contract, right? Still allowed. Okay, I can debit my P&L. But if it is like I didn't have the registration of something and GST council is coming and GST department is imposing a penalty on me for not getting registered with the GST. So the 10,000 is for violation of a statutory provision. It is not allowed. Advertisement, this is also not allowed. That's what I said it. Abandoned features అంటే ఇప్పుడు సినిమాలు ఉన్నాయి కదా, సినిమాలు ఒక్కోసారి రెడీ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత మనకు అదొక బోర్డు ఉంటుంది, సర్టిఫికేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంద బోర్డు, అది ఫిల్మ్ సెన్సార్ బోర్డు ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. మనకు రేటింగ్స్ ఇస్తారు కదా, యూ అని, A+A అని, అది. సో 6 సక్సెస్ఫుల్ అయిన సినిమాలకి వాళ్ళు రేటింగ్ ఇచ్చేస్తారు. ఆ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ని నువ్వు PGBPలో క్లెయిమ్ చేసుకుంటున్నావు. దట్ ఈస్ క్లియర్. బట్ నౌ ద క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్ దట్ వాట్ ఇఫ్ ద ఫిల్మ్ ఇస్ నాట్ గాన్ త్రూ దట్ కౌన్సిల్, నాట్ గాన్ టు దట్ బోర్డ్ ఓన్లీ. ఎందుకంటే సినిమా కొన్ని సినిమాల సెంటర్లోనే ఆపేస్తారు కదా అలాంటివి. సో వాట్ యూ డూ ఫర్ దట్ అంటే, ఈవెన్ దో ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ గోయింగ్, యూ కెన్ స్టిల్, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ అన్ అసెట్. యూ కెన్ నాట్ సే దట్ ఐ విల్ అమోర్టైజ్ ఇట్ ఫర్ నెక్స్ట్ 5 years. వేర్ ఇస్ అన్ అసెట్? సినిమాను సగం తీసి ఒక 50 crores ఇంకర్ అయ్యి దాన్ని ఆపేసేసి కెన్ యూ సే దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ అసెట్? నాట్ అన్ అసెట్, రైట్? యూ కెన్ డెబిట్ యువర్ P&L. అది మనకు వర్డిక్ట్ వచ్చింది. ఇట్ ఈస్ అలౌడ్ యాజ్ అ రెవెన్యూ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్. ఓకే, So there are few examples I'm not telling because only few people are there, guys. I don't know. I thought a few people will be there. But challenge is a challenge. I want to complete it. Built, operate and transfer, BOT. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనకు టోల్ ప్లాజాస్ లేదంటే కొన్ని ఫెసిలిటీస్, పబ్లిక్ ఫెసిలిటీస్ని వాట్ దే డూ ఇస్ పబ్లిక్ ప్రైవేట్ ప్లేయర్స్ కమ్ అండ్ దే బిల్డ్, దే ఆపరేట్. ఎట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ 20 years దే విల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఇట్ బ్యాక్ టు ద గవర్నమెంట్. ఇప్పుడు ఏదైనా మీరు యూ టేక్ ఎనీ రోడ్ ఆల్సో, హైవేస్ ఆల్సో, ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ దట్ వే ఓన్లీ. సమ్ అదర్ పీపుల్, airport road you see, they'll also private people will take and they'll charge toll and everything, they do it now because they have built it and they are operating it, but at some point of time they'll transfer it back to government. Ports, airports, roads, ఇవన్నిటికీ ఇదే లాజిక్. ఓకే, సో కెన్ యూ సే వాట్ ఎవర్ ద అమౌంట్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఇంకర్డ్, can we claim depreciation on that? How can you claim a depreciation? Because one of the conditions for claiming depreciation is that it should be owned by you. Private player is not owning any land. Adani example తీసుకుందాం, ప్రతి ఒక్కరు అదే ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుంటున్నారు కదా. Adani, they are having lot of ports, they take it from government, they built it, they operate it. At some point of time, maybe 20-30 years, we don't know what is the status, they'll give it back to the government. Can they say that I will claim the depreciation? Where is that depreciation? You are not a owner of it only, right? So you cannot claim depreciation. Then what you can do is that whatever the cost that you have incurred, you amortize over the period for which you will be getting the revenue from that project, may it port, road or any other operating system. Amortize and allowed over a period of time. And next is section 40. Section 40 is talking about your inadmissible expenditure. I'm just repeating the point. Section 28 and 41 is your P&L credit side items, income and deemed income. Section 30 to 36 is general, allowable expenditure. Section 37 is general or residual allowable expenditure. Now 40 is like inadmissible. You are doing a wrong thing, I will not let it happen. Okay, this is inadmissible. When you are doing the PGBP problem, if it is already debited, you add it back because you are not allowed to do it and you debited it. So that is the reason why whenever you solve that main PGBP problem, you remember the point. If it is inadmissible, you have to understand this provision, then to check which is allowable, which is not inadmissible expenditure, you will have to add back. If it is ineligible and already debited to your P&L, you have to add it back just to nullify it. One is 40A1. What is this provision? You are making a payment to a non-resident on which TDS is eligible, TDS is deductible. It is coming under TDS provision, chapter 17B. Okay, so as per that chapter, you have to deduct TDS, section 195. You have to deduct TDS while making the payment to that party. You're either not deducted TDS or deducted, but before you file the return of income. If you fail these two conditions, 100% disallowed. I'll repeat once again. If you are paying interest, royalty, if you take physical, technical services, anything that is chargeable under chapter 17B, interest, royalty, physical, technical services, or any other sum on which TDS is applicable, but you are not deducted TDS, or you deducted and you kept it in your pocket, both are wrong only, right? 100% disallowed. 100% disallowed. So when you are doing the PGBP problem, if it comes like this, you have to add back everything. 100% disallowed. This provision I'll tell you in just a minute. Now 40A 1A, these are more important for article student also. 40A 1 is less, we don't get so often, but 40A 1A will get it so often. So 40A 1A is again a TDS only, but it is not a non-resident, it is for the Indian people, our people only, right? You should have deducted TDS, you are not deducted. You deducted but you kept it in your pocket. Both are wrong only, right? Only 30% disallowed. 30% disallowed when you are solving the PGBP problem. If 100 you are paid, only 30 you add back. If it is 40A1, like payment to the non-resident, if you have paid 100 rupees, you add back 100. But for this 40A1A, if you have paid 100 rupees, you add back only 30. I hope it is clear. Okay, now coming to this point, what is this? Generally, if you're not deducted TDS or deducted TDS but not paid to the government before the filing the return of income under section 139(1), if you fail any of these two conditions, you are termed as assessee in default. But the other party, the payee, is so good person that he wants to pay tax out of his own income. Meaning, not like that, I'm putting it another way. I should have deducted TDS on some payment that I made. I'm entering into a contract with a person, local person, resident. 194J के हिसाब से I have to deduct 10% TDS. I should have done it. I forgot it. Okay, but the other part is so good. What they have done is they have included that 1 lakh in the total income. They filed the return of income. They paid the tax on it. I should have done it. It was my responsibility. But the pay is so responsible person that he has included this income is in total income and paid to the government, right? So in that case, I cannot be called as a assessee in default. 201, I guess section number. Yeah, 201. Hope it is clear. Generally, for resident and non-resident, if I don't deduct TDS or after deducting TDS, not paying to the government within the time under section 139(1), I will be termed as a assessee in default. But the payee is such a nice person that is calculating, including this payment in his total income and is filing the return of income and paying the tax on this. Then it is assumed that on that particular date I made the payment. But eventually interest will be applicable because there is a delay from when. See, if I have to deduct TDS now, I have to pay it to the government by next month 7th. But he might be filing the return of income maybe at July 31st, assuming. So these for this period, government is losing the money, right? So they will be charging the interest on that portion from me because it was my responsibility. I missed it. Yes, I'm not a assessee in default, but still I have to pay the interest on that. So questions are there, but we'll complete this because this TDS provision questions we can do it later also, like when I will do the TDS chapter. But let's complete the provisions. This is for equalization levy. Again, that is also non-resident taxation. If you are paying making payment to non-resident for equalization levy and you are not deducting this equalization levy, some 6% was there, so that is also disallowed. And here it is if you are paying income tax, you cannot debit P&L. What do you mean by that? See, the calculation of debiting P&L or crediting P&L is to calculate the tax only. The purpose itself is that, and on that again you are debiting income tax is not allowed. Okay, so if you are paying any income tax, it's you pay it, but you don't claim it in your P&L account. Income taxes and everything. I think there is a clarification by CBDT on this. Even says also it is part of a tax. You cannot debit your P&L. And 48(2)(b). Royalty, license fees, whatever you are paying to the government, and if you don't make that payment, that is also disallowed. See, the government is like there, it's more like a tax only. You are paying to the government and it is not allowed here. And for non-resident, you are paying any salary and you're not deducting TDS, it is also disallowed. So you might ask questions, sir, what is the difference between 40A1 and 40A3? 40A1 may we had interest, royalty, fees for technical services or any other sum, but they are not saying salary, no. So salary, it will be disallowed here, 100% disallowed. There it is interest, royalty, fees for technical services, something like that. Okay, anyway it is 100% disallowed. 40A4, if you are contributing to any fund, it is disallowed. Okay, but sir, is it not contradicting with other point? If you are contributing to a recognized provident fund and you are making the payment in cash, that is allowed. Okay. 40A4, tax paid on perquisite on behalf of employee. What do you mean by that? I am giving a perquisite to my employee. And on top of that, tax applicable on that perquisite. I am giving a car, on that tax on non-monetary perquisite. You should pay it, right? I'm only paying that. So why are you asking? Why are you paying that? If you are paying tax on the non-monetary perquisite, it is disallowed for you, exempt for the employee. 40B, this also I told, if the firm is paying interest to the partners, only 12% simple interest they should pay. if it is a salary or remuneration or whatever you call, up to 3 lakhs loss or up to 3 lakhs 90% or 1.5 lakh, or on the balance amount 60%. It should not exceed that much. We don't have time and nobody's again there to check the question, so I'm just explaining the provisions. If you are receiving this money for in a representative capacity, if you are receiving any interest or anything in a representative capacity, it is not applicable, which means that I'm a partner in a firm in my individual capacity, but I'm receiving interest in a representative of someone else. So there are two parties. Sampath as a partner is different, Sampath as a friend of my some other friend, okay, that is different, right? If I'm receiving something as a representative capacity, it not be covered here. For association and AOP and BOI, everything is disallowed, okay. Only firm at least 12% something is allowed, but here it is everything is disallowed, okay. 48(2) may, if you are making any payment to your related party and you are making a payment which is over and above what is the market is saying, for same services in market I would have got the services for 1 lakh only, but I'm paying 1,50,000 extra I'm paying, right? That 50,000 is disallowed. 48(3), this 10,000 I kept shouting this point, right? If you are making a payment in cash exceeding 10,000, otherwise then by account payee, check or demand draft, it is disallowed. Loan transaction exception, commission agent exception. There are certain 6DD exceptions also there, like these are all important payments. Even if you make payment in cash also more than 10,000, it's fine. It's like you are paying to all the banks, and these are all again banks. For agricultural forest produce, if you're paying, they're all formats, they might not be having bank related transactions. And animal husbandry, fish and fishery products, horticulture, apiculture, if you're paying to those people, it's fine, you can pay in cash. And paying to manufacturer of who is not using any power, cottage industry, it's fine. In a place where the bank's facilities are not there, that is also fine. You are paying to an employee who is going in a different place, like on a ship example, and okay, this is not that, right? So when someone died and only 50,000 is paid to their legal heirs, that is also fine, you can pay in cash. Again, you are paying to as an employee and who is going on a trip, and the trip is going to a place where there is no banking facilities and it is more than 15 days, you can pay. See, someone is like a crewman or is going to a far off village and it doesn't have to have a bank account there, it's more than 15 days ka timeline, you can pay in cash. Money exchanger also, like dispense of when you're taking foreign currency or traveler's checks, you need cash, right? How can you pay in cash other than cash? So it's fine there. Payment of provision for gratuity is disallowed, but if you're paying to the employees on a payment basis, it is allowed. Like up to gratuity fund, that becomes payable during the period. Any fund, again this is disallowed, but if you are paying in cash, it is allowed. Mark to market is not absolutely important at vendor level. 41 deemed incomes I told, right? A remission or cessation of a trading liability. Last year you incurred some expenditure for which you are getting a benefit now. Last year you purchased some items for 1 lakh, you didn't make the payment. Now when you are making the payment, he is saying I will accept 80,000 also because I have not given you the proper services. The 20,000 benefit I got it, right? So that is my deemed income. What is the remission or cessation of my liability? Again, scientific research, recovery of bad debts. Bad debts also the same logic I explained already. Withdrawing from the reserves. There are certain reserves that we have to create for some purpose. If you're withdrawing from that and not using for the purpose for which it was intended, then it is a deemed income. Exchange currency, generally if you are purchasing an item from other outside country and there is a foreign exchange gain or loss, you have to adjust your block only. That is all disallowed here. Same logic goes here also. 43B, certain deductions to be made only on a actual payment basis. Like generally our financial year is 1st April 2022 to 31st March 2023. You will file the return of income on 31st July or 31st October. Okay, so generally if you don't make the payment by here within your previous year, it's fine, but at least make the payment by the time you file the return of income. Whenever you file the return of income under section 139, at least till that time you make the payment, because these are very important payments. You cannot keep pending, keep pushing these things, like important from the economy point of view also, like you are paying any taxes and dues, whatever the name called. See, government bole to everybody will take it for granted. Used to take it, now they are not taking it, right? So you have to pay. You need not be by 31st March only. At least by the time you make the payment, file the return of income, you have to make the payment. And contribution to provident fund also same thing. Bonus and commission, you are promising to your employees that you are paying the bonus to them. You are writing in books of accounts. You are not paying to them only, right? It's not correct. You pay them, okay. And anyway, bonus and commission, we pay it after the year end only. We have to do all the calculations, then we pay it. So it's fine if you don't make the payment by 31st March, at least pay it by the time that you file the return of income. And any interest that you're getting on a loan that you're borrowing it from State Industrial Investment Corporation, State Financial Corporation, or Public Financial Institution, this is also you have to pay. That's the reason why, like, a lot of people, they take huge amounts from the government banks and they don't pay the principal amount, but still debit the P&L account. That is wrong. Okay, at least you pay the payment by 31st, by the time you file the return of income, then you claim it. Otherwise you don't claim it. Same logic, everything will continue like that. For railways, this is an amendment. I mean, not recent amendment, but this can be a question. But railways also, if you are using their transport services and you don't make the payment, you pay at least by 31st March, by the time you file the return of income, because there used to be a lot of backlogs or outstanding amounts. Just to make everybody make the payment, they brought in this provision saying that if you're using any of the, it is for high people, big manufacturers, what you do is you make the payment to them at least by the time you file the return of income. Only employers' contribution to provident fund will be disallowed. Employees is not there. So see, PF we paid by 15th of the next month. Employers' contribution will come under this bracket. Employee you file the return of income. See, 12 is employees contribution. This is employers. This employees contribution, you have to pay it by 15th of next month. This is also employees also, both put together only you'll pay 15th of the next month. If it doesn't, if employees contribution is not paid 15th of the next month, but here if it is not paid next month, but it is paid by the time you file the return of income, this is allowed. Okay, so that is a clarification you need to have in examination. It's important. Illustrations are there. Again, whenever you restructure the loan, you cannot claim everything as a payment. Example, this guy has took a loan of 15 lakhs. Because he is not able to pay, he is converting that into restructuring it. Bole to instead of 5 years, he will pay it 20 years. Example. So now, just because it is a reconversion of loan, is it a payment? No, it's not a payment. Only amounts that you paid out of the reconstructed amount, that is only will be allowed. Okay. So in this case, he is paid only 3 installments. I am not reading the entire question. So 3 installments and 5 installments. So 15 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 60 months installments, 60 months. So every month 25, 50,000. He paid 5 installments. He paid 3 installments. Only that much is allowed. Okay, entire amount you cannot say that it is a payment. So sometimes what happens is that whenever there is an amalgamation, whenever there is a reconstruction or from one entity to another entity, amalgamation, absorption, something like that, you might receive an asset which is asset for you. Maybe it's an inventory for the amalgamating company, something like that. Okay, for them it is an inventory, for you it's a capital asset. So what you have to do is you have to do whatever is the cost to them and what are the improvement they have made plus whatever the improvement that you have made, everything you have to put it and say that it is your cost. Stamp duty value also, this concept also important. If your actual consideration and your stamp duty value is not same, you will take the stamp duty value, that is called assessable value. But if the difference is not more than 10%, you can say your actual consideration is a full value of consideration. Well, the actual consideration is 100, fair market value is 105, difference is not more than 10%, right? So you can say 100 is your full value of consideration. But otherwise then it's 100 is your actual consideration, 150 is your stamp duty value. So you will say because the difference is more than 10%, 150 will be your full value of consideration. And if you feel that the stamp duty value is not correct, you will ask the assessing officer to refer the valuation to the valuation officer. He will come up and say the valuation. If whatever the value that is given by valuation officer, assuming that he see actual consideration is 100, stamp duty value is 150, so you have to pay tax on 150, right? So if you feel that 150 is too much, you can ask for the valuation officer, and if he gives 140, you will adopt that because that is lesser than stamp duty value. If he gives 150, sorry, if he gives 160, that is more than the stamp duty value. I came to you for relief, you are giving me more pain. You can ignore and you can continue with this, your option. Just because you are going to stamp duty value doesn't mean that you have to adopt their value. Just because you are going with the valuation officer doesn't mean that you have to adopt the value that is set by him. Income from construction and service contracts, this is less important at an inter level. At a final level it is more important. Generally for ICDS 3 construction contracts, if the construction is not taking more than 90 days, you can say take it in the single year only, project completion. If it is taking more than that, you will do it over a period of time. This is something called at a point of time and over a period of time. So you will do over a period of time calculations based upon the percentage of completion method. Okay, that much is important for us, not more than that. And for special provisions in case of trade and professional and similar associations, for trade unions and all, if they are having a loss, 50% they can set off with another profits, not more than that. So only 50% is there. So now we'll go to the main point, which I feel is more important now. I'll be completing this entire thing, and let's see. 44AA के हिसाब से you have to maintain the books of accounts. It's important whenever there is something called presumptive taxation. If you don't adopt with the presumptive taxation, you have to maintain the books of accounts at 44AA and you have to get it audited under section 44AB. Okay, so for now, who all have to maintain the books of accounts. First thing, if it is a certified professionals, like we'll tell the name, legal, medical, engineering, architect, professionals of accountancy, technical consultancy, these people in the 3 years, if any other 1 year is exceeding 1.5 lakh as a gross receipts, they have to maintain the books of accounts. Just maintain the books of accounts, nothing. And if you're starting the business for the first time, if it is likely that you are exceeding the gross revenue by gross receipts by more than 1.5 lakh, you have to maintain the books of accounts. What all you have to maintain? You have to maintain a cash book, you have to maintain a journal, a ledger, and bills for 25 rupees, carbon copy for 25 rupees, and if it is more than 50 rupees, original bills. Okay, if it is medical practitioner, daily case register and inventory, for them it is important. And where they have to maintain the books of accounts, wherever they are doing the business, there they have to maintain the books of accounts, and they have to maintain for a period of 6 years. It's important, maybe it can come for 1 mark in the MCQs. And maintenance of books of accounts for other professionals, if it is individual and HUF, there it was 1.5 lakh, right? It is 2.5 lakh. And if you are okay, I'm sorry, I did it. If income is 2.5 lakh and if your gross receipts is 25 lakhs, in any of the 3 years, you have to maintain the books of accounts other than the specified professionals. And if it is a new business and you feel that the gross receipts will exceed to 25 lakhs or your income will exceed 2.5 lakh, you have to maintain the books of accounts. Other than individuals, what are the company? For them, say for individuals, the most luxury is given, like higher level threshold is given. For other than individuals and HUF, if your gross receipts are exceeding 10 lakh rupees and your income is exceeding 1.5 lakh in any other 3 years, and if it is a new business, if it is likely to exceed income by 1.2 lakh or gross receipts by 10 lakh, you have to maintain the books of accounts. And you have something called 44 EA, 44 AE, BB, BBB. So these are all presumptive taxations. One is for resident and one is for non-resident. We'll see one by one. Who has to maintain the book? Who has to get their books of accounts audited? 44 AB. You can expect a question out of this. One is who's having a gross receipts or turnover of more than 1 crore. And if you're going with a presumptive taxation and you are offering tax lesser than the percentage that this prescribed, 8% and 6%, you have to maintain. Simply, boss, when you have to get audited, generally, if it is exceeding 1 crore, you have to offer. See, 1 crore, again, there is an amendment with the 10 crores for few people. Whenever your receipts are cash receipts are not more than 5% or payments are not more than 5%, it can be 10 crores also. Okay. So if this limit is exceeding, you have to get the books of accounts audited, or you are like, I don't want to go to the presumptive taxation, then you have to maintain the books of accounts and get them audited. And there are few more conditions I'll tell you anyway, don't worry. The requirement of audit under section 44 does not apply to a person who declares the profit in business on a presumptive basis under section 44 AD and the total income is total sales or turnover or gross receipts does not exceed 2 crores. What does it mean? Generally, if your gross sales turnover, gross receipts turnover sales exceeds 1 crore, you have to get your books of accounts audited. But you are like, no, I will go with the presumptive up to 2 lakhs, up to 2 crores. You can go, you no need to maintain the books of accounts, you no need to get the books of accounts audited. If in case aggregate cash receipts are not more than 5% of total receipts, including receipts for sales, turnover, gross receipt, everything, aggregate payments is not more than 5% of every expenditure, it is 10 crores. Just now I was trying to say this, I didn't see this. Generally, it is 1 crore only. If it is exceeding 1 crore, you have to get them audited. But your cash payments are not more than 5% of all payments. All cash receipts are not more than 5% of all the receipts. Then it is 10 crores. Uh, 44 EA, I will explain this. This is for business of plying, hiring and leasing goods of carriages, not owning more than 10 vehicles. If someone is not owning more than 10 vehicles, they have an option of going with the presumptive. They need not maintain the books of accounts. They need not get the books of accounts audited. If it is a heavy vehicle like more than 12 tons, 1,000 rupees per month per ton for the number of months for which you are owning the assets. If it is lesser than that, 7,500 rupees per month per vehicle. Will not do the problems, but 7,500 per vehicle. This is 1,000 per month per weight. In case of eligible assessee carrying on the business whose total turnover or sales or gross receipts are less than 200 lakhs and who has opted for section 44 AD. So 44 AD, 44 ADA both are presumptive taxation. 44 AD is for a business, 44 ADA is for profession. AD is for 2 crores, okay. ADA is for 50 lakh. And if you don't want to offer as per presumptive and you are exceeding this limit, no, you can go with maintaining the books of accounts and getting them audited. Professionally, it is 50 lakh. Audited for TCA 3CD is not important at this point of time. And if you don't maintain the books of accounts, you have to pay 1.5 lakh or 0.5% or 0.5% of your turnover as a penalty. 271 BK is subsidy. And once you opt for presumptive taxation, you have to continue there for 5 years, and in between, if you break that chain, you have to maintain the books of accounts and get them audited. If your receipts exceeds basic exemption limit, somewhere it's there. I'll just open this. Okay, it's not receipts, it's income. Okay, I'll repeat. 44 AD, it's a presumptive taxation. You have to you need not maintain the books of accounts, you need not get them audited, you just pay 6% or 8%. But if you want to and if you opt for that presumptive taxation, you have to continue for next 5 years. If you break in between year, you have to once you come out, no, for next 5 years, this is like a punishment for you. Why did you come and why did you come out? You have to maintain the books of accounts, you have to get them audited if your income exceeds basic exemption limit. So there are a lot of things. I hope the session will be useful for you. You can watch it later also. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day.